Week 1 of the college football season continues from Philadelphia as you're watching the American Conference on ESPN. From Lincoln Financial Field, the Temple Owls, coming off a fourth straight bowl game appearance, host the Patriot League's Bucknell Bison. And welcome inside the booth with former Penn State and NFL standout Tyoka Jackson. I'm Dave Leno. Both programs endured head coaching changes in the offseason, and this afternoon they'll look to build upon the foundation they established in spring and fall camp.
Well, it's exciting times, right? Opening day, the coach is excited, but I guarantee the players are lit in that locker room. They've been hitting their teammates for 4 weeks. Now you get a chance to hit a different color jersey.
Here's a look at the new head coaches. For Temple, Rod Carey comes from Northern Illinois, where he took NIU to 2 MAC championships and 4 division titles. On the flip side, Bucknell's new head coach, Dave Cicchini, did a masterful job resurrecting Valparaiso.
Both of these guys have taken programs on life support to the top. Valpo was at the bottom of the Pioneer League, and then they went to the top. And then Carey took NIU to the number 16 team in America. That's amazing.
Let's dissect the 2 starting quarterbacks today, beginning with redshirt junior Anthony Russo, who returns as the starting QB for Temple despite dealing with a calf injury in recent weeks.
7-3 as a starter. He's had an up and down career. When he's hot, the coaches say he's as good as anybody. When he's not so much. All you have to do is call easy plays for this guy, get him to the playmakers on the outside, they'll win.
On the other side of the ball, Cicchini named junior Logan Bittakoff the starting quarterback for Bucknell. He's the returning leading passer on the team, and today will be his 6th career start.
Logan had a bitter quarterback controversy and competition, but he won it, and now he's being a very consistent player. The coaches love him because they trust him. He got to play nearly flawless today to pull an upset off.
The Owls and Bison haven't met since 1970, and here come the Temple Owls. A long history between the two that will resume today in South Philadelphia. The 45th meeting of Bucknell and Temple is next. Getting ready for the start of Bucknell and Temple from the city of brotherly love. It is a glorious afternoon with temperatures in the low 80s, winds out of the north at 7 miles per hour for week 1 coverage of college football. As you take a look there at Anthony Russo making another start here for the Owls, his 11th career start. It's a 45th meeting between the two. They last met in 1970, where Temple won 10-3. Now, Bucknell owns 20 wins in the series. They met every year from 1927 to 1970, playing for the Old Shoe Trophy. Now, that's not on the line today, but this was called the Old Shoe Game. They were both members of the Middle Atlantic Conference in the mid-60s. There's a look at Isaiah Wright getting ready to receive a first-team All-American player for the Temple Owls. Ethan Torres will get us started here for Bucknell in white, Temple in the home red uniforms. There's the kickoff by Torres, end over end, and we're underway in Philadelphia. It's right from the 5-yard line for Temple, spinning away, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line, and that's where this Owls starting unit will begin, led by Anthony Russo.
Dave, that was an early win for Bucknell to keep right at the 25-yard line and almost spinning out to create a huge play. That's an early win. You take them when you can get them if you're Bucknell today.
It's the first career opening day start for Russo. Last year playing in 12 games total. He came in game number 3 last year for the Owls, replacing Frank Newtile. In the backfield is Jagger Gardner for Temple. In motion is Blue, and back goes Russo. Over the middle of the pass, incomplete. Looking for Brandon Mack, who last year had a sensational year for Temple, leading the team with 5 touchdowns.
Great coverage by Sam Chidey there. Excellent job. He's a captain. 6'2", 220. So great hips turning and running with the receiver on that play.
Yeah, Chitty was a great player, led the team in tackles for loss last year, a captain, and we're going to have our first flag of the afternoon. The referee is Anthony Calabrese from the American.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So we'll be on Matt Hennessy, the starting center, part of the Remington Trophy watch list player, to look at Rod Carey, hired on January 11th as Temple's head coach, spent the previous 6 years at Northern Illinois, and made them a perennial power. Here's Russo. With time, it escapes the pressure here for Temple off his back foot and had a play into his own sideline.
Very impressive with the early pass coverage here from the Bison. Excellent pocket. Russo's taking his time, keeping his poise. First and second reads not there, trying to extend the play with his legs, and here comes late pressure. Right now, I'm very impressed with the Bison. They've come out to play. They're not going to lay down for anybody today.
Yeah, their defensive coordinator is Ryan Manilak. Pressure by Miato there in Hunt on 3rd and 15 for Russo. Down the middle of the field, looking for Mack, and that's a first down for Temple on a gain of 23.
And just as I give the praise to Bison, I'm going to take it away. You're playing zone coverage, tight zone coverage. Great read by Russo to get the ball down the seam as they go hurry up here today.
Redshirt junior Brandon Mack really has to step up without Ventel Bryant, who's with the Cincinnati Bengals trying to make their roster. From the 43 here for Temple. Gardner in the backfield yet again. And the handoff is to him across the 45 down to the 47th. It's Ramon Davis that time, the freshman, on his first career carry on a gain of 4.
They like Davis. 5'9", 210. He's got some wiggle to him and power.
Russo, far sideline, and the pass complete into Bucknell territory there for the Temple Owls. Made by Isaiah Wright and Tyoka. They're talking about Wright as a wide receiver to become more of a pure wide receiver. What does that exactly mean?
Well, he's a tremendous athlete, first of all, but there are a lot of subtle things to the wide receiver position that takes time to learn, and we'll talk a little bit about later.
Play action here for Russo. Finds Mack on the opposite side of the field as he's brought down by Chitty. Will be another first down for Temple.
Dave, early on, it's clear that Temple's decided they're going to throw the ball to set up the run. They're going to spread out this defense. They have an athletic advantage on the outside, and they're going to try to take full advantage of it.
He's a new single-digit wearer in Brandon Mack, being one of the tougher players on Temple. They fake the handoff, and it's a quarterback keeper there for Russo. He's not a threat to do it on the run, as he's met by Rick Mottram on just the pedestrian gain of 2 yards.
Just a read option play, and Russo pulls it out, sees some room up in front, but the offensive line, the inside guys, the 3 inside guys, the 2 guards in the center, got a tremendous amount of push. Why not take it inside and get yourself a couple? 2nd and 8
here for Russo. Rolling out to the right. Has time. Looking in the end zone, and the pass incomplete. His target was Jaden Blue, the redshirt sophomore for Temple.
Well, Russo thought he had him, but he had some late pressure that moved him off their spot, and he's a little upset because he could have hit for a touchdown, but I think the pressure is really what got him off his spot. When you move a quarterback, doesn't matter if it's Dan Marino or Anthony Russo, when you move a quarterback, they're going to throw in inaccurate balls, Dave.
And that was good pressure there by Nnamdi Unachuku. So another 3rd down situation. It's 3rd and 8 with Gardner back into the game to the right hip of Russo. 3 wide receivers at the top. Russo but looking to the left and has his man. And a good play there by Barbone. And right down to the 15-yard line, but it looks like he's short of the line to gain. It's a gain of 11 for Temple as Deary was there in the coverage for Bucknell.
Zone coverage, and again, you're right in position. Everything's great, got to make the tackle. Sterling Deary, you're right there. One-on-one battles, that's what the game comes down to. Certainly, it's 22 guys on the field, but generally it comes down to the one-on-one battles. Do your job to help your team win.
It will move the sticks for Temple. There's the fake to Blue. Russo down the middle of the field, incomplete. He threw behind Wright, his intended target. It was Benson stride for stride with him for the Bison.
Now, we talked about the pressure earlier. This time, Russo has to make that throw. That's a throw he can make. No pressure there. Great pocket. He's just got to step into it and throw an accurate ball. And usually when the ball sails high, you don't get that front foot down. He's high in behind. Got to be more accurate to make that play. That's one they can't get back.
2nd and 10 for the Owls. It's Gardner again, bouncing inside the 10, and he scurries up to the 8-yard line for the Owls. Romango brought him down again on the pickup of 6.
I think Ryan Manilak, the defensive coordinator for Bucknell, has decided that they're not going to be able to throw the football today. I think Temple wants to throw it. The Bison is taking it away. You got to run this football. It's their form. You're seeing 7-man fronts. I think you'd run right at it, force them to go 8-man, then you get your big shots downfield.
And Rod Carey told us, the head coach for Temple, the center on the offensive line for the Owls against the defensive line for Bucknell. There's the shovel pass inside, and a touchdown for Temple. It's Jaden Blue with his first career touchdown, and the Owls strike first.
And you're right, this is a shovel pass, but for the offensive line, this is a run play. That's just nothing but power football right up inside. They pull the backside guard leading up, and there was no one home. That's an easy touchdown for Blue.
Redshirt sophomore gets on the board. Will Mobley, the redshirt sophomore, will handle the place-kicking duties. Cole Lurch will be the long snapper for the Owls. And Mobley's kick is good. Temple with the successful first drive on a bevy of third down conversions. What a start for the Owls here. Russo on the option and the shovel pass to Blue. And Temple strikes first in Philadelphia. Temple's head coach Rod Carey's team is off to an exceptional start. Previous drive, 12 plays for 75 yards in just a shade over 3 minutes. It ended in an 8-yard touchdown for Jaden Blue. So it will be Jacob Lafree to kick off here for Temple. And for the first time, we'll see the Bucknell offense come out to the 25-yard line. Tayuka, let's go back to the Temple touchdown, the Blue.
Hey, we talked about running the football was the way to go. Well, this is a pass, but it's still a run up front. Watch number 50 in white. Cherubino, he's got to close down. When that tackle goes down, you got to close. See the big gap? That's an easy touchdown for Blue. It's a pass look, but really up front for the front seven of the defense and the offensive line. That's a run. You got to play it as a run to knock that out.
So for the first time, we will see Dave Cicchini's offense for Bucknell, and Logan Biddeckoffer is a pass-first guy for the Bison. In the road white uniforms here of 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Biddeckoffer's first pass is complete. That's his main target, Brandon Sanders, for a gain of 5.
I like the call. I like those plays. Those are sort of like hot tub plays for the quarterback. Real easy reads, get the ball out of your hands, get him some early confidence.
And you see the tempo there, but the snap goes over Biddeckoffer trying to get on it, and he will right at the 10-yard line. His center is Chuck Sanders. It's important to mention that Jacob Russ, the normal center, is out due to injury. It is a loss on the play of 20.
Well, I mean, we talked about the confidence. This is kill your confidence in the second right now. Now, the interesting thing, they don't score this as a sack. I always thought it was silly not to, but this is a null play, a play that just didn't happen. When you throw the ball over the quarterback's head like that, boy, they're lucky to get it back.
Yeah, they're in a perilous situation here. 3rd and 25 for Bucknell from their own 10. Carter's in the backfield next to Biddeckoffer. Twins to each side of the field here for the Bison. Biddeckoffer on the screen pass out wide to Sanders. He'll just get more room for the All-American punter. We'll see Alex Peachin on the gain of 4, met by Chappelle Russell.
Dave, when I put together keys to this game, I know you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but one of the things I said was no disastrous plays, no giveaways, no miscues. You start off with a nice play on first down, get yourself 2nd and 5, and kill it with the ball going over the head, kills the whole drive. These are the plays that Bucknell, if they want any shot at winning this game, they cannot make those unforced errors.
So you see Isaiah Wright, last year 1 kickoff return touchdown, 2 punt return touchdowns, but there's the 2-time captain. And you saw the All-American and Alex Peach, an old kick here to Wright. Male Scholar Athlete of the Year for the entire Patriot League. And his booming kick, it's a swirling one that has to back up Wright inside the 25. Wright jetting to the right-hand side, and he's met all the way at the 23-yard line. Terrific defensive play there for Bucknell's Brandon Benson.
Terrific is an understatement. I mean, first of all, don't go anywhere when number 2 is filling a punt. You do not get a cold one at that point, guys, because you're going to miss something incredible. But all those plays where you keep that guy corralled, that's a huge play for this Bison program, because number 2 can change the scoreboard in a hiccup.
That was a 65-yard booming punt for Peachin, and there's a look at Wright. 33 catches last year for 3 touchdowns. We talked about him trying to improve on the part of the wide receiving core. Russo with an empty backfield set will dump it off to Wright yet again, making 2 miss. And look at these eye-popping moves by Isaiah Wright. It's going to be a gain of 2 there for Temple's Wright. Miato there on the stop. And you see a Bucknell player down right now. It's Ryan Breida. We'll be back right after this. The athletic training staff is escorting Ryan Breida, the junior from Westchester, PA, off the field. We'll go back to here's why on the special teams play. Keep an eye on 51 in white.
Yeah, it's those non-contact ones that are the most scary, believe it or not. And all the hitting in this game, you get a little worried. I'm not going to speculate. I hope the kid's okay.
And it is to Isaiah Wright yet again on the second consecutive play after the special teams play on the gate of one. Brandon Benson there again for Bucknell. Most experienced returnee in the secondary for the Bison.
Terrific start for Benson. He's made a number of plays, but you see them trying to get the ball to right. He's a tremendous athlete. You got to get him the ball. That time he's in the backfield, they'll line him up in the slot. At flanker, they'll do everything. And obviously, he's the greatest punt returner in the nation, but learning how to play the wide receiver position, but he's a tremendous playmaker with the ball in his hands.
Temple 3 of 3 on third downs. Russo looking towards the edge, and he will find blue yet again, and it will move the sticks once more for Temple at the gate of 12.
And Jordan Blue says, hey, Isaiah Wright's a great player, but I can play too. I am a wide receiver. I am polished, and I can run great routes. Watch this out route. Look at timing. Ball placement. Beautiful. This is Anthony Russo at his best. Gets back, stable feet, ball comes out, on time, on target, first down.
It is a Temple team that last year went 8-5, including the Independence Bowl loss to Duke. Gone to 4 consecutive balls on the read option again. It is Sean Bradley, the linebacker, who's getting time as a running back, going right up the gut for no gain as he's met by Mottram.
Well, that's linebacker versus linebacker right there, and you heard it right. That was not a typo in the brain. Sean Bradley, the middle linebacker, who's as good as anybody in the country playing that position, was the tailback. And number 52 wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, they call him a very versatile piece and a special guy, and he'll get it again right up the gut once more to the second level. And he's met by Romango, and it's a 7-yard pickup again for Bradley. He's a senior from Mount Holly, New Jersey. Had 3 rushes last year. He's going to get more time in this matchup, Tioka.
And believe it or not, I've heard Temple people say that he's the best running back on the team.
Yep.
But because he's the best defensive player and the best all-around player, heck, you can't find enough places to put him. The guy is an NFL player that you're watching right now, and he's as versatile as it gets.
Yeah, last year they were led in the running back corps by Raquel Armstead at 13 rushing touchdowns. It's another third down here, and again it is to Bradley, and he's going to come up just a half a yard short, it appears, as Brandon Benson comes up with another big stop for Bucknell. Gain of 2.
Now, I would say on a play like that, Dave, that's where he's not with the running back crew enough. You've got to work on picking up your feet. They run through bags on a regular basis, and the turf monster got him. Watch this. There's nobody there, but Mr. Bradley's used to playing linebacker, going laterally. Pick those feet up and keep running. You get the first down.
It's 4th and 1. The handoff is to Gardner, and he has the first down for Temple. Temple last year 48% on 4th down. Mottram got him late there for Bucknell, but it will move the sticks on the 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, see, this is where I think Bucknell's going to struggle. Even when you know they're going to run it, Temple has the size advantage, Dave. 265 pounds is the starting average for Bucknell per guy. 301 for Temple. I'm no mathematician, but that's 36 pounds per man.
And it is to Gardner yet again and gets to the 40-yard line. And you're right, Tioka. This offensive line for Temple combines for 88 starts, 48 in particular last year. They have a guy, Jovan Fair, who's a second-team All-American player. We mentioned Hennessy as well. And you have 2 sophomores, Klein and Moore, that are 2 young studs.
Yeah, but when you got a guy who's a graduate student at the center position, has played a lot of football, and he can make all the calls, you can play young guys up front and be just fine.
Russo again with time and finds Mack in the secondary yet again. And it's Mack brought down by Romango, moves the sticks once more for Temple. Deary also there on the coverage for Bucknell on the pickup of 25 on the pass play. And look at the tempo here by Temple. 1st and 10 on the 16. Russo rolls right, has his man to the outside again. It's Brandon Mack.
Mike Urimovich, the offensive coordinator for Temple, he's starting to get warmed up now. The offensive line is in rhythm. And so is Russo, and so is your offensive coordinator, and he's dialing up all different types of stuff. And so Bucknell really is reeling because they don't know exactly what to stop. Y'all take away this run game.
The previous play is under review.
Front power, or do I take away this pass game to kill us quick?
And we're being told the previous play is under review. Again, the referee is Anthony Calabrese. The replay official is Buddy Ward, both from the American Conference. They're looking, we're being told, for 12 men on the field. But as you see Anthony Russo there, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm and Maxwell Award nominee, he did a sensational job last year assuming the number 1 duty. 7-3 as a starter, over 2,500 passing yards last year. He had a monstrous game, even though they lost in Orlando to UCF. He threw for over 400 yards, so you know what he brings to the table for Temple. And
4 TDs in that game, in a game that they had to win against a very good opponent. And what the coaches talk about, again, we talked about in the open, he's a guy that once he's hot, he can be dynamic and wonderful to watch. I think it's important as this season goes on for Temple that you get him easy throws, get him in a rhythm, allow him to get his confidence up, because once he's riding high, he can kill you because the ball comes out on time and on target, and it's really a beautiful thing.
See Russo there, the previous play for Mack as he was met there by Deary.
After review,
all timing routes.
Illegal substitution, defense, 12 men. That's a 5-yard penalty.
There's 12 men on Bucknell.
First down.
And it will be a first down for Dave Cicchini's group. Spent the last 5 years at Valparaiso. Also an offensive coordinator in the past at Lehigh, the Citadel, and Harvard. He replaced Joe Susan, who resigned in January after 9 years as the head coach for the Bison.
Dave knows this as well as anybody. Temple's too good. They don't need any assistance. No miscues, no penalties. Don't help them. Don't beat yourself. First rule of winning, don't beat yourself.
It's a 1st and 5 situation here for the Owls, and it's a give to Gardner. Gets past that left side. Gardner reaches for the end zone across the plane for another Temple touchdown.
How about the determination of number 21? He's a top returning rusher. Watch the leg drive. Excellent blocking up front, and then bouncing off of people, and then picking up those legs, almost losing the ball, but keeps a hold of it and reaches for the touchdown. I love backs who smell the goal line and are not denying, and that's exactly what Gardner did on that play.
Will Mobley on for the extra point. The coaching staff says that he's been getting more consistent in spring and fall camp, and his PAT is good. And what a start, Tyoka, this afternoon for the Temple Owls.
I like running the football. They can do it whenever they want, and number 21 says, yeah, Isaiah Wright and Mack, they do it great, but give me the football. I want to eat too. As he goes in the end zone, 14-0 Temple.
Another terrific drive culminating in an 11-yard touchdown run for Jagger Gardner, and Rod Carey's reign at Temple is off to a great start here. Led the Huskies to 6 bowl games, including the 2013 Orange Bowl. When he first was elevated from offensive coordinator to the head coach of Northern, he had an unblemished record, a perfect season, got them to number 16 in the polls, and he's continuing that success laid by the previous coaches like Matt Rule and Jeff Collins here at Temple. It is LaFree to kick off here for the Owls. Cooper is back deep, and instead it's Micah Davis that will haul it in, and the ball will go to the 25-yard line here for Bucknell. So Logan Bidekoffer,
the ball will be placed on the 25-yard line.
Had a snap that went well over his head, and that culminated in a disastrous start for the offense. So let's see how Dave Cicchini's unit rebounds now.
Yeah, because I don't really think we've seen the real Bucknell Bison yet offensively. They just the miscues just haven't allowed them to get them chances to really get going. And right now, in order to keep this game under control, they need something here. The 12 and 10 play drives against their defense, a 3-and-out here will be as bad as it gets.
Jared Cooper to the right of Bidekoffer here. On 1st and 10, Bidekoffer rolling right. It was almost intercepted. And Temple, Sam Franklin coming off the edge. A versatile guy as they come, almost had the pick 6.
Yeah, he read it all the way. Zone coverage, he tried to undercut it, but this guy can flat out fly. Another versatile player. Temple has as good a linebacking core, not just in the American Conference, as in the nation. These guys can flat out run, hit, and make plays.
2nd and 10 here for Bidekoffer and Bucknell. Down 2 touchdowns on the read option. And the give again is to Cooper, the sophomore. No gate on the play. Ifeanyi Maije there on the stop. It's a D-line for Temple, coached by Walter Stewart, who had one of the best D-lines at NIU last year.
And he's just getting off the ball there. And that's a guy who is timing the snap, getting upfield, and really is unblockable when he gets off like that.
Caleri is down there for the Bison. He's their right tackle, a sophomore from Allentown, Pennsylvania at Salisbury High School. First career start last year was in the finale against Fordham. It's an offensive line that Dave Cicchini told us coming into this one that they're very thin. Only 12 offensive linemen can have a cap of 90 on the roster in the Patriot League. And they don't have that many according to the coaching staff. So again, first year for Cicchini. Last year, this Bucknell team under the previous staff went 1-10. Their lone win was at Holy Cross. They have lost the last 6 coming into play this year.
We've talked about it, though. He's used to bringing programs back from the dead. You got to give the guy time. It's probably a 5-year process for him at Bucknell. And these injuries early, this is really spelling disaster. They're not as deep as Temple. They're already overmatched. They got to find a way to fight through it. Next man up.
3rd and 10 again for Bucknell from their own 25. Pressure coming, and the screen is incomplete. They were looking for Cooper, and it brings up another 4th down. Sean Bradley there on the pressure for the Owls.
Well, you'd like to run a screen to take advantage of the over-aggressive defense, but when you got a Sean Bradley who is as good as anybody at diagnosing plays, he's going to make an easy screen pass tough. And so he forced the incomplete just by seeing it, getting under it. 4th down.
See the 2 All-Americans here on special teams. Definitely something to focus on this afternoon. There's Peachin, 81 punts for over 3,600 yards last year. His first one was for a booming 65 yards, and it backed up Wright, who's ready to receive for Temple. Another good punt there from the All-American Peachin, and here's Wright yet again, making one man miss and trying to reverse the length of the field. It's Isaiah Wright, the first-team All-American specialist, and he's met at the 22. Bucknell on the stop was Brandon Sanders, one of their wide receivers.
That's a 70-yard run for about a 1-yard gain, and I'm just telling you right now, Alex Peachin is the MVP for the Bison. He is taking care of number 2 by himself. Obviously, the coverage has been stellar and the tackling has been great, but these punts are allowing the coverage to get down, and they're putting a licking on number 2.
So here comes Anthony Russo. You see the numbers there. Only 4 incompletions, the 1 touchdown pass to Jaden Blue on the first Temple drive. Ramon Davis now in the backfield, the promising freshman from Blair Academy and a native of San Francisco, out wide, and he has a familiar target there in Brandon Mack, and it seems like they're developing a nice relationship here to start the 2019 season as Deary pushes him out.
Well, they're guys that have been in a program together. They've been throwing to each other for a minute. You know, pitch and catch is all it is, and if you're going to have off coverage by a corner, these comebacks and these stop routes are there all day.
It was the go-to wide receiver last year as well. On the read option, out wide, it's Blue. With room to run, and gets a block in front by Mack, and it's Jaden Blue on the far side of the field. And a big gain there for the Temple Owls. Micah Davis has the touchdown-saving stop on the play of 37 yards to Blue.
And it's the play action, the ball handling of Russo that set that up, because he influenced the outside linebacker who's supposed to get underneath that play. As you see, number 41, Chitty, he's the guy that's got to get out there and make that play, but he had to react to the play action. Great throw and excellent after the catch.
Davis splits out wide. It's Russo on first down. Look at the protection by the offensive line. Throws in the backfield for Davis. Here's the freshman down the sideline and brought out of bounds at the 5-yard line is Brent Jackson, the freshman from Denton, Texas, with the stop. It's a gain of 27 for the freshman Davis.
Yeah, Davis is a load. We talked about he's got great speed and quickness, but he brings a thump on the tackle. And so what you're seeing right now is Temple obviously has a athletic mismatch and a size mismatch against the Bison, but what you're impressed by is the execution has been flawless.
1st and 10 here for Temple, and it's Russo. It's going to be a loss of 1. Let's go back to the previous play.
Here you see Russo going through his progressions, and now he just dumps it to his outlet, the swing pass, and look at the speed. For a guy that size and just a young guy, he can get down the field in a hurry.
Second and goal here for the Owls, up 14-0 over Bucknell. In motion there is Wright. It's another hands-off for Gardner again. Just shy of the plane once more for the gain of 6. Met there by Brian Brown, the safety for Bucknell.
And an assist from Joe Schiano. Joe Schiano, who's the son of, I believe, Greg Schiano, the former head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and was on our staff at Penn State.
Read option again, looking for Gardner, and he's in for another Temple touchdown. Jagger Gardner with his second touchdown of the afternoon.
Nothing amazing here. Nothing to trick anybody. We're just going to run wedge blocking, run right up the middle in the A-gap, and because we think our big guys can push your big guys, and that's exactly what happened. Very simple play, but big size advantage that we talked about up front for the Temple Owls.
Mobley again for the extra point, and he's 3 of 3 on this perfect start for Temple. 3 drives culminating in 3 touchdowns in this FBS versus FCS matchup, culminating on the Gardner second touchdown run.
That's right, and this time they're running it out of shotgun. They've run it out of multiple sets, but the shotgun run is extremely effective because we saw them fake it in that situation and throw the pass outside, and this time they run the dive. So Temple is a shotgun spread team. They're multiple, but they're a shotgun spread team. They love to get 4 guys out, 4 wides, 1 back. That shotgun run game is going to be very important all season because it's going to allow Russo to work the play action, which he's very effective at doing.
So at this point, Tioka, it's 3 successful drives for Temple. Now, if you're on the Bucknell sideline, what are you talking about with your players to try to get back in this game with it already being close to lopsided so far?
Well, the first thing you do is you don't look at the scoreboard, okay? We're here to play football. Now, number 2, we can't beat ourselves. We can't have missed tackles. We're in a position to make plays. We can't have stupid penalties on either side of the ball, and we can't have mental errors on offense. We've got to execute flawlessly. Let's go out and let's try to play bison football on this particular possession. Forget about the score, and we can see what happens after that.
Here's Jacob Lafree, the grad transfer from the University of Indianapolis, and it brings Pringle into the end zone. So Bucknell's drive will begin again from the 25-yard line. It's a Bucknell team who last year only averaged 13 points
25-yard line.
under the previous staff, 170 passing yards to 57 rushing yards. It's a team that does very well in the special teams area offensively. They just want to improve in 2019 under Cicchini's staff.
Yeah, and this game is tough. It's a tough matchup for them because there are a lot of veterans out there in that Temple Owl side of the field, and so they know exactly what they're doing. These guys on the other side, they're overmatched, but what you try to work on is no mental mistakes. Catch the balls that you're supposed to catch, make the plays you're supposed to make.
Read option here, and it's Chet Freshnock there with the new quarterback, John Cherlanzio, coming in and will assume the quarterback duties. It's a gain of 2. Majai's there on the stop. Cherlanzio boasts the most game experience amongst the quarterbacks. Came in as the number 2. Last year averaged over 108 yards. No touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He started the first 3 games for Bucknell, but then went out due to injury for the senior. So Cherlanzio in there for Bidekoffer. And it will be 2nd and 8 at another read option. Cherlanzio keeps it over the middle and has his man. That's the first down this afternoon, and the pass complete to Sanders for 13 yards. It will move the chains.
Yeah, that's a terrific throw by Cherlanzio. I mean, that's a zone coverage where you got a guy underneath. You saw a hand go up, but that was great touch to get it over the linebacker, but back down for his receiver running the post route, skinny post, in front of the safety.
And Sanders is only a sophomore, so very promising from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Product of St. Joe's Prep High School. A lot of a familiarity to the area as they graduated Alan Butler, an all-Patriot League player last year. It's the fake there, and it's Stephon Moore-Green getting his first touch of the game, and he's met by Sean Bradley.
Yeah, tough defense to run laterally on. I mean, these guys can flat out run. This linebacking core, you can't fool them either. So they're disciplined and they can run. So I'm not offensive coordinator, so I'm glad I don't have to game plan against these guys. But the only chance you got is to run right at them. But unfortunately, they don't have the size and strength up front to run right at them. So this is a tough deal.
The Owls linebacking core is one of the most deepest groups on this Temple team. And for defensive coordinator Jeff Knowles, it's a 2nd and 14 for Sherlanzio. Going deep, he might have been hit as that ball was tipped, and there was pressure there from Temple's defensive line.
When you get in the quarterback's face, it's bad news. When you hit his arm when he's throwing, it's usually a pick six the other way, and obviously the Bison are lucky that that wasn't the case, but the defensive line is starting to dominate the line of scrimmage. We knew they had an advantage of quickness and size up front, and it's starting to show.
Bucknell is 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Sherlanzio in as the quarterback with a young run-backing core. And we have a flag on the play.
Hard count. I love it. And I don't know if that was Sherlanzio's idea or Mirren, but excellent job of going with the hard count. Temple has been getting off the ball with great efficiency and quickness, and so you change up that snap count, get him to jump.
Here's Calabrese yet again.
Offside. Defense, number 6. 5-yard penalty.
If they got him to jump again, it was Daniel Archibong.
See, you got a half cart in the ears, partner. You can't go off sound. You go on movement. If you go off sound, the quarterback will murder you with hard counts. Don't move until either the guy in front of you to move or the ball. Whatever moves first, then you can go, young fella.
Marquise Carter back into the game. Was injured in the 4th quarter of Bucknell's opener last year. Missed the rest of the year. It's a 3rd and 9 here for the Bison. Sherlanzio. Good time. Pocket collapsing. Airs it down the field, and the pass incomplete. Looking for Dominic Lyles there. Bradley coming in with that monstrous hit there at Sherlanzio.
So we talked about this running, or these linebacker crew playing a run, and when they blitz, they're super effective. And look at Sean Bradley come here late and lay the wood. Now, you got to be really tough to play quarterback. I don't like quarterbacks, Dave, but you got to be tough to play the position.
We'll be back right after this. Back here in Philadelphia, Dave Leto, Tyoka Jackson. As you see, Peachit out there getting set to punt this away.
Peachit's been the best player on the field. Excuse me, partner. He's been the best player on the field. I don't expect anything less.
Averaging over 50 yards per punt. The fair catch called by Wright. Will let it drop, and it takes a fortuitous roll there for the Bucknell Bison.
That's an NFL punter right there, Dave. Yep. I just want you to know right now, you're watching an NFL punter play for free, but he won't be paying for free much longer. This is his last year playing for free. He's a weapon.
Yeah, he broke numerous records at Bucknell, even as a freshman. Led FCS with 81 punts last year, 24 more than any other punter in the top 5 in average. But it will bring out Temple, and it's been lopsided on the total yards gained in this match.
Well, this is all you need to know. I mean, 8.2 yards per play for Temple, 0 yards average per play for Bucknell, 229 for Temple, no yards at all for Bucknell.
It's a 5 wide receiver set. Russo on the option again. And right at the 12-yard line, Simeon Page there for the stop for Bucknell. There is a flag on the play there.
Yeah, it's a late hit call. I don't know what took so long to get that flag out. Russo was obviously beside himself. Interesting play. That was actually a triple option on the sprint.
Personal foul, late hit. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Go against Page, the FCS active sacks leader. He's done a terrific job to battle adversity in his career. Missed 6 games over the last 2 years due to injuries, but an extremely hard-to-block player for Bucknell's defensive unit. And there's a look at the junior. 1st and 10 here for Russo. Has blue yet again. Gets a great block. That was a terrific block there by Vincent Picozzi as Van Italy has the stop. It's a gain of 6. That attests to the dominance of this offensive line for Temple today.
Yeah, they're not just big, strong guys. They're athletic as well, and they use a lot of the screen game. And in order to be successful in the screen game, whether it's a bubble or tunnel screen, you need big guys who can get out and run and block people in space, and that's what we saw in that last play.
Be a 2nd and 4 here for Russo and the Owls, up 3 touchdowns. And it's Gardner making one-man miss across the 40 and a first down to the 41-yard line of Temple. It's a pickup of 7 on the play. It's Brent Jackson at the stop once more, the freshman for Bucknell.
You saw a terrific penetration by Roger Miato on that last play, but the cutback, the pursuit from Bison wasn't near. It allowed for the cutback and positive yardage.
Russo, far side of the field, has Brandon Mack yet again making one-man miss. Romango and company there to wrap up Mack. Micah Davis also in as well. It was a big battle for a corner stop there. Micah Davis and Eric Butler were battling for that cornerback spot. Let's go back to the previous play. Look at the end of this one, Tioka.
Well, first of all, it's just an easy stop route because they're playing off. And then you got a guy who wants to battle for every yard in Mack, and he comes out a little hobbly.
Another big run here for the Owls that will move the change on the gain of 11 for Ramon Davis. It was Romango again who quelled his progress.
I think this Davis has a very bright future. Number 28 on your screen. He's a terrific young back who's only going to get better.
Miato nearly jumped for Bucknell but got back onside. Davis stayed with this Temple staff despite a coaching change. Jeff Collins is now coaching Georgia Tech after leading Temple the last 2 years. Russo, plenty of time down the far sideline and misses his man. It's Jose Barbet again, the redshirt freshman, getting time as a catch this afternoon.
Temple has been running the stop routes all day, and that time they ran stop and go. And it took unbelievable discipline by Pringle to stay on his man and not get beat deep. As you see the stats, and they're clearly as lopsided as the scoreboard.
Another handoff again. It's Gardner once more. Romango and then has him for Bucknell. Gardner at 253 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. Russo again to the right, off his back foot, has a man in the pass complete just shy of the 10-yard line. It's Jaden Blue with the catch yet again on the gain of 23.
Beautiful route that time, Dave. It was a terrific post corner, and look at the time. All that time, you can't let anybody have that much time and much vision downfield, let alone a guy who is hot in Russo, and he's got, again, we said, terrific playmakers on the outside. This receiving core is very impressive. Fast, and they're physical once the tackle comes.
Gardner into the game as well, in motion. Is right. He's going to go for right in the end zone, and Isaiah Wright has the touchdown for the Owls.
And he was cruising. When you're that fast, you can cruise and not be full speed and still get down the field. Looked like a wheel route to me out of the backfield against Pringle, and he just played basketball and went up and did a rebound, really. No pressure on the play, great protection, and he just shielded the defensive back, Pringle, and went up for a rebound, and a rebound in football is a touchdown.
Will Mobley on for the extra point, 3 of 3 so far on PATs. Make it 4 of 4 with 11:45 left in the first half. It's an exceptional start for the Temple Owls, and Wright gets right into it on the receiving end.
Yeah, he's late to the party, but he finally shows up and with a jump ball in the end zone, and he's going to win most of those. It's a laugher early for Temple.
You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. From Lincoln Financial Field in South Philadelphia, it's all Temple over Bucknell this afternoon. Dave Leno, Tioka Jackson, and our entire ESPN crew. And so far, Bucknell not having an answer for Temple's speed, athleticism, and size in this one.
Well, we knew it was going to be a struggle, but what you got to be impressed with is the way Temple has come out mentally. A lot of FBS teams come out and sort of nonchalant and think they can just show up and win the game, and Temple's playing it the way it needs to be played, and that's hard.
LaFree with the kickoff, and it's Dennis in the end zone. Bucknell will start again from the 25. Exceptional job by Jacob LaFree, the grad transfer from the University of Indianapolis. And there's a look at Bidikoffer. Remember, Sherlanzio was the quarterback on the previous drive. Should mention that Bidikoffer did start this game, the junior from New Philadelphia, Ohio, but it is, Tioka, a Bucknell team that has not picked up any yards. That stems from the 20-yard loss on that errant snap early on.
And we said in the open, Bidikoffer won the competition between he and Sherlanzio, and it looks like this competition is ongoing as we get into the season.
Yeah, in fact, you may see Taryn Earl, the third quarterback for Bucknell, in the game today. So it's Bidikoffer again on the fake, rolling right. Great pressure in the backfield there for the Temple Owls.
That's Chris Banks.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's Chris Banks getting a pass rush and a beautiful job
There's
of
no
clubbing
foul
and
for
ripping
intentional grounding.
and exploding to the
Number
quarterback.
35 was in the area.
Many big guys who can turn it on once getting through that initial push through the line. He's got some quickness and explosion, this Banks.
Yeah, Banks is the redshirt freshman from Wayne, New Jersey.
6'4", 294, but I'm just telling you, he's probably a chicken wing from 300.
2nd and 10 here for Bidikoffer and Bucknell. Well, the option to get at the slant complete there to Sanders across the middle. Past Monroe, the grad transfer from Penn State. It's a pickup of 14. We haven't seen too many pass plays for good yardage. They get one there to their target, Sanders.
And I think we're starting to see something. That's the second one that we've seen, that slant after you pulling out on the read option. There's a hole there. And if you can exploit it with a timely, accurate pass, there's something to be done, and Bidikoffer did exactly that.
That was just the second first down today for the Bison. 1st and 10 from the 39. Fakes the handoff. It goes to the near side of the field. And the pass there is complete to John McGuire, the junior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, on the gain of 3.
Everything's coming off of the play action on the dive play and spread. We've seen Temple run a lot of stop routes on the outside. That was the Bison's version of the stop route. And just as Temple did, look for the stop and go at some point later on to try to catch the eye discipline of the corner and get yourself a big play.
There was pressure there by Isaiah Graham Mobley from King of Prussia, the redshirt junior. 4 single-digit linebackers on this Temple linebacking core. It's a fake handoff there to Carter. Bidikoffer under pressure, and he's brought down again in the backfield. What a masterful job there by Efine Maijay with the 9-yard loss and the sack by Maijay.
Maijay had a terrific camp, and when you can get pressure up inside, it's devastating. No quarterbacks like anything in their face but wide open throwing lanes, and right now, either Bison quarterback, they're not afford that ability. And look at him come off. You see that you can get blocked, Dave, as a defensive lineman, but you can't stay blocked. He worked to get off the block and finish the play. Terrific job.
Yeah, Maijay beat out Duabate in camp as the two were dueling with one another. Bucknell 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. It's 3rd and 16. On the handoff again to Carter. Nothing doing there. The stop by Maijay once more. This interior line has been so sensational this afternoon, Tioka.
And when your defensive line dominates, the entire defense dominates. It starts up front. Yeah, as any coach, it starts up front on both sides of the ball. And if you can control the line of scrimmage, you got a chance to beat anybody. And right now, it's a mismatch up front, but it's the attitude that the Temple Owls are bringing that I'm so impressed with.
There's a look at Dave Cicchini there, seeing his team being shut out now 28-0 with 9 minutes to go and change in our first half. Isaiah Wright already has 1 touchdown as a timeout's going to be called here by the Temple Owls. So you see Peach in there was granted a 5th year of eligibility after getting hurt his sophomore year. And Isaiah Wright, a first-team All-American last year, first-team All-AAC, 2 career returns for touchdowns, 3 career punt returns. When speaking with Rod Carey, the head coach for Temple, he said that Wright reminds him of a guy named Kevin Galladay who plays in the NFL with Detroit, in that he's so versatile. But as far as that versatility, Tioka, he says that Wright's probably the best that he's seen in what he can bring to a football team.
Well, my first game for ESPN, I had the pleasure of calling Kenny Galladay's first game at NIU, and he went off for 3 touchdowns. But I would say Galladay is a little more polished at the wide receiver position. He's been playing it his entire career. He knows exactly what he's doing. Athletically, the number 2 on your screen probably compares favorably. He's learning, again, the nuances of route running, to be a more consistent catcher. That's what's left for him to be a great player in the NFL. But this duo between the punter and punt returner, these two guys are as good as it gets in America at their positions.
Over 1,500 all-purpose yards last year for Wright. It's Peachin, the All-American. Punted away. A lot of NFL scouts are eyeing him. He's in his 5th year at Bucknell, a dual major, but this is a poor punt by him, which is a rarity. Wright had trouble picking it up, but fortunately for Temple, it does go out of bounds to the far side of the field, so they will retain possession with 8:48 to go in the first. A look at Boathouse Row and the Art Museum in Philadelphia, 28-0 Temple.
Temple's been doing it in a variety of ways. This first one is an inside handoff, really, to Jordan Blue. They call it a shovel pass, and Gardner gets in the mix with a spinning, whirling dervish of a touchdown, reaching for the end zone. And here's just playing basketball as Russo throws it up, and it's a box out by Wright. Touchdown, one of the easiest ones he'll have in his career.
Dave Leto, Tioga Jackson, our entire crew on the call. It's a handoff here in the backfield. Again, it's Wright. And look at him leap over a man towards the near sideline. That's the athleticism that Wright possesses.
Yeah, he's special now. He's special. This time he lines up as a tailback and says, you want to go low, I'll go high. And the defender wasn't that low. I mean, that's a really high jump. But at the end of the day, 3-yard gain, so I call it a win for the Bison.
You're right over Connor Romango. It's just a gain of 3. Nonetheless, a terrific play. Had the crowd roaring here at the Link. 2nd and 7 here for Russo, and the pass is intercepted. Bucknell's going to run this into the end zone, and it's the freshman Gavin Pringle gets the Bison on the board.
Wow. Wow. Great job by Pringle. Terrible job of route coordination on the outside. Pringle playing zone coverage, reads the throw and breaks on it. You had 2 Temple players nearly run into each other, and look at Pringle. See, when you play zone coverage, you're watching the quarterback's eyes and you're breaking on the football, and that looked Deion Sanders-like by the young freshman. Excellent job, 17, and you deserve that chain around your neck because you just made a big play, son.
36-yard interception there for Pringle, and it will send on Ethan Torres, the junior from Great Falls, Virginia.
Retry.
Well, there's going to be a penalty called against Bucknell. Take a look at Pringle. He was behind on the depth chart with Sterling Deary, but getting a lot of playing time this afternoon.
Yeah, from Baltimore, Maryland, and you got to give him a lot of credit because he's getting a lot of time early on. His first college game and really showing up. They try to take advantage of him, but he's made his plays too.
Colanciano is the long snapper, Peachin the holder. And the kick there is no good from Ethan Torres. It was 6 for 8 on extra points last year. Not a good look for Bucknell to start. We'll go back to the pick 6.
Yeah, they ran a scissors route on the outside, which is very effective in man coverage. But against zone, it doesn't really knock off anybody. And Pringle was able to read it out. And again, for a true freshman to see this and have the confidence to go break on that ball is really amazing. His eyes, reading the eyes of the quarterback. If you're going to stare down a receiver against against zone coverage, that could happen to you. And give him credit for catching the ball. How many DBs do we see drop these easy interceptions? Great job by number 17.
It's a Bucknell team that lost both starting corners and 4 safeties due to graduation, including the 2-time All-Patriot League player Brian Marine, who is also the return specialist as well. So very thin in the back. They're led by Benson in that secondary for Bucknell. And it was great to see the freshman from Baltimore and Pringle come up with a pick 6 and give some life to the Bison on the road in this FCS-FBS matchup. Torres, after missing the extra point, will kick off here for Bucknell. And it's to Wright. Here's Wright, leaps over another man again. Isaiah Wright over to the 40-yard line as he leaped over Sterling Deary there for Bucknell. It's the second time Wright showcases that athleticism. There is a flag on the play.
During the return, holding, return team number 39, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Will be a hold there on Kramer for Temple on the return. We'll go back to the right return.
It won't count, but this guy number 2 is playing a different game than the guys in white jerseys. I mean, he's just a little bit different than everybody else athletically and quickness-wise and confidence. You'd be shocked at how important confidence is to players. You got to be able to feel like you can make plays in order for that athleticism to come through. Number 2 is supremely talented, but he's supremely confident as well.
First on the team at all-purpose yards last year. Russo with the offensive unit back on the field. The read option, it's Ramon Davis, the freshman, yet again on the pickup of 5 on the play. Page there on the stop for Bucknell.
This Simeon Page is a terrific player now. We've seen him make a couple plays. He's first team All-Patriot League. He was second team as a freshman. He's made All-League basically every year, and it won't be any different his junior year.
On the 4-man rush for Bucknell. The throw on the near side, completing to Mack. Blue has 5 catches for 86 yards. That's the 6th catch for Mack today. He has mustered over 80 yards as well. It was Deary there on the stop for Bucknell. 85 now yards officially for Mack.
Brandon Mack is not as dynamic as Wright, but he's so polished with his route running, and you see the catching with the hands.
Another handoff here on the inside. It's the freshman Davis. He slipped running through the trenches, but he gets to the 35-yard line. It was Mottram was the last player there on the gain of 8 by Davis. How impressed have you been by the freshman running back so far?
Very. I mean, look how he's built. He's compact, low to the ground, thick legs, and that rear end. That allows him to run through arm tackles. You can't arm tackle this freshman. And wait till he gets in the weight room.
Russo go to that far side. It's Blue, comes up with the catch. It's Dennis there to wrap him up out of bounds. But Jaden Blue also having a fantastic afternoon. It's a guy that played in just 8 games last year, averaged 13 yards per catch. He only had 3 catches a year ago. It's a gain of 9, but Blue, you're going to see him have more playing time in 2019.
It's an embarrassment of riches of how much talent they got on the outside.
Russo looking for Mack. Goes right through his hands. It was Deary that was stride for stride with him. Now, Mack, rare miss for him.
Excuse me, pardon. Mack looked a little tired there, and I wouldn't be shocked if he stays on that sideline. See, that route wasn't run with the sort of urgency that you need to run a route in an FBS sort of game. I mean, you play for Temple. You got to run a route faster and harder than that. He's got to be winded, and I'm not surprised he's coming out there.
Tight end David Martin Robinson comes out. It's Isaiah Wright in the backfield blocking here for Russo. Lobs it down the field, and it's over the head there of Deary yet again. And Barbon was again the intended target for Temple. Be another 3rd and 10 upcoming. Temple 6 of 7 on 3rd downs this afternoon.
That coverage was as beautiful as it gets, really. I mean, and clearly Bucknell said we're not going to let Temple get us deep. And so everything is playing off these deep routes.
Russo, look at the protection by the offensive line here for Russo. The redshirt junior will find Blue. That won't be enough for the first down. It's out just shy of midfield. It was Deary again there on the stop of that 4-yard pass play. And I would believe, Tayuka, that we're going to see Temple go for it here at midfield.
Well,
maybe not.
They decided they're going to punt it.
Just like that, as our friend Lee Corso says, not so fast.
That's right.
First punt for Temple. As you see Cooper going back deep. It will be Adam Barry, sophomore transfer from Independence Community College in Kansas. Handles the low snap there by Cole Lurch, and the fair catch is made by Cooper amid a bevy of players at the 20-yard line. It's Temple 28-6. We'll be back on the other side. Dave Leto, Tyoka Jackson back in Philadelphia. Temple leading this one 28-6, and it's all about not just the offense but the defensive prowess from the L's up front. Tyoka,
did you do this for me, Dave? Because you know I love D linemen now, and this guy, J, has really decided to take over the ball game. He's played great against the run. He's gotten penetration on that, and he's getting off blocks. There he is, number 88, getting off blocks in the pass game and wreaking havoc. But the entire front, really, they got about 7 or 8 guys that they play, and that's going to really do well for them as they get along in conference season because they can keep guys fresh.
Charlanzio back in the game. It's an inside handoff to Cooper. on the gain of 2 for Bucknell. So again, Bidekoffer started the game, then came out. Sherlanzio was inserted. They reverted back to Bidekoffer, no go to the number 2 quarterback, Sherlanzio.
But if you don't get number 8A block, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. I mean, they can put you out there and you'll be a tackling dummy too. It doesn't matter, right? You got to block the guys up front to give your quarterback any shot of getting anything done.
That is a stellar defensive line group. And Roche, Archie Bong, Maijay, and Mezde. He's on the left, wearing number 10 at the top of your screen for Temple on the line. 2nd and 8 again. Sherlanzio looking for Sanders and has it hat high for the first down for Bucknell. It's a gain of 14 on the play. Deshaun Winston was there on the stop for Temple.
Well, I think that Jeff Knowles, the defensive coordinator, is going to have something to yell at his guys about, because somehow without any running game, this play action slant over the middle has been effective for the Bison, and it shouldn't be, because there has been no running game. No need to overreact to it. Rally up to the run game and pick off this slant. Great job of the Bison.
On the read option again, another handoff to the sophomore Cooper, as Mezde was there.
And it's to the point now where, on the run game and the pass game, the linebackers can go sit down. The defensive line is taking full advantage and taking care of everything. Look at the hustle. And some of them aren't blocked and some of them are. And it doesn't matter at this point, because the hustle and the intensity is so great.
Mezde had the best year last year, according to the coaching staff. 4 sacks and 2 forced fumbles last year. Sanders with 5 catches, 51 yards for Bucknell. Will set up a 2nd and 8 from the Bison 38. Sherlanzio gets a good block from Cooper, will air it down the field, and the catch is made by Sanders inside the 20-yard line as he beats Winston.
And Dave, I've got goosebumps. What a throw by Sherlanzio under the most intense pressure, and that was a terrific catch as well. Let's not forget the catch by Sanders. I mean, that's a beautiful one-handed catch, but that Sherlanzio took the hit from Maijay, who's been in the backfield all day, and threw a beautiful pass. Like I said before, you got to be a tough guy to play quarterback in big-time college football.
A 44-yard pass play there to Sanders from Sherlanzio, the number 2 quarterback, coming into this game. We'll see after week 1. In motion there is Cooper from right to left. Twins to the top here for Bucknell. Down 28-6. Sherlanzio off his back foot was looking into the flat there to his target. It was incomplete for Stephon Moore Green.
Sherlanzio rushed himself on that one. And when you have this much pressure, play in and play out, the quarterbacks begin to speed themselves up, and that's really why pass rushing is such an important part of defense. That time, there was no pressure, but in his mind, he knew he was going to get hit, hurried himself, and threw an inaccurate ball.
Most of Sherlanzio's starts came in 2017, in which he mustered 5 touchdowns. Started the first 3 games last year. A senior from Florham Park, New Jersey, and Kent High School in Connecticut. Dave Cicchini looking on there for Bucknell. Sherlanzio going for Sanders. Incomplete. He was looking right down the middle of the field there, but nothing doing. It was Ebiketie with the pressure there for Temple. We'll set up a 3rd and 10, and that man knows a lot about wide receiving, and that's Cicchini, All-American at that, at Lehigh. Give it the play call here to Sherlanzio on a big 3rd and 10 with 2:58 remaining in our first half. Much needed points here for Bucknell. It's Carter in the backfield. Whistle sounds and someone jumped on the line.
Timeout. Bucknell. That's their
Bucknell
first.
will call a timeout at 2:58 to go. Coming up at the break, the American celebrates the 150th anniversary of college football. We'll look at predictions of both the American and the Patriot League for the season ahead. Plus, Tioka and I will dive right into those first half highlights and stats. Stay with us at the conclusion of our first half. How impressed have you been from the Temple team? Last year they go 8-5, go to their 4th consecutive bowl, and they start under a new coaching staff. Many of these coaches coming from Northern Illinois, including their head coach, Ron Carroll.
Very impressive, because when you got a new staff like this, you got to come in and win the locker room. They've got established veterans, especially on defense, who are leaders, and they could lose these guys because they bring in a new defense, new this and new that, new way of doing things. you got to give Rod Carey and his staff a tremendous amount of effort. Obviously, it's only game one, but a tremendous amount of kudos because these guys are coming out and playing with the effort that they are playing with. Obviously, it had a great camp.
Bucknell 0 for 4 on third downs. It's 3rd and 10 from the Temple 20. Sherlanzio flushed out, and the pass to the near sideline is incomplete. Looking for McGuire. There was heavy pressure by Myjay and Roche again for Temple.
I love the call to move the quarterback, but when you do, it really puts a strain on your passing game because you can only throw it to one side of the field. And so, yes, you got to move the quarterback to give him any chance to get the ball out. But when you do that, the options are cut down. Didn't get an opportunity to get the first down. Made it a tough throw. That's great defense by Temple.
It's a 37-yard field goal attempt for Ethan Torres, who missed an extra point. 0 of 2 beyond 40 yards last year. It's Torres' attempt, and it's through for Bucknell. So they get the much-needed 3 points with 2:46 to go in our first half. It brings us to a 28-9 game. Well executed there by Cicchini's offense.
Yeah, and then to set up the field goal, I mean, that's a win right there for the Bison. The special teams for the Bison are stellar. All right, they're going to have their way in their conference in terms of special teams. Certainly, Cicchini, he knows the pass game, and they're going to be better when they play against opponents who aren't as talented as Temple. He's probably the greatest wide receiver in the history of Lehigh football. If I'm not mistaken, isn't he the all-time leader in receiving yards?
Yeah, let's go back to Cicchini. Having played for Lehigh, he was also an offensive coordinator there. He still holds this Patriot League record, 15 touchdown receptions. Played in the early 90s. Again, he's been a coach of the Patriot League. So when you hear about Cicchini coming to Bucknell, he knows the Patriot League very well, and that will be advantageous for the program in Bucknell, who hasn't had a winning season since 2014, trying to right the ship.
And what you see is his imprint on the offense. Just like Temple, they run that spread, they run that shotgun, and you see the quarterback look over to the sidelines to make sure they're in the right play. He has total control, talking about Cicchini, total control of this offense. He's a very intelligent guy. He understands the pass game. If you're a quarterback who likes to throw the ball, Bucknell is a place you should take a hard look at.
Here's Torres to kick off. Again to right, 2 yards deep in his end zone, right with a blocker in front, and brought down just shy of the 20-yard line there by Moore Green on special teams.
Now, Mr. Wright needs to be really careful and judicious when he decides to spin and jump. Now, there's a spin and there's a jump, and then this is a spin and jump at the same time, and you better be really good with that ball security. Be careful. That's something that he probably won't want to take with him when he starts playing on Sundays.
Look at Moore Green. We'll see more time this go-around for Bucknell and Isaiah Wright. Just so versatile. We were told that Wright last year playing more on the inside. You see him used on the outside part as a wide receiver, getting the screen here. Could also be that slot guy if they want him. They could also line up as a running back as well. Just multiple options for Wright, which leads him to being so dangerous.
That's Swiss Army knife. I mean, the guy, you can line him up anywhere, give him the ball. That time it's a bubble screen. This time where the receiver backs up, the receiver that's on the line of scrimmage, his teammate, he goes and blocks. In this case, it was Brandon Mack putting a terrific block and then let number 2 take it where he sees it. But I'm impressed continually with the Bison's ability to rally around number 2 and sort of keep him corralled.
It was Allen and Deary on the pressure there for Bucknell. It's Gardner again, gets a hold of that right side of the line. There was great opening there by Picosi. It climbed on the line. Allen with the stop, the 9-yard pickup for Jagger Gardner.
But this is the problem, right? This is when Temple gets in any issues with their pass game, they can always turn and run it. Whether it was Davis, the freshman, or if it's Gardner, it doesn't matter. The holes are there for these guys to exploit.
20th first down for Temple. Davis back into the game. It's Blue. And he's pushed out there by Deary.
This time they run the bubble screen with Blue. And another wide receiver on the outside has to do the blocking. And I'm impressed with the wide receiver blocking. This time Brandon Mack's blocking on the outside for Blue. So, Mack has shown he can run great routes and catch the football, but he's always also a physical guy who can block for his teammates.
Here's the tempo from Temple on 2nd and 7. It's Wright, met by Romango. on the gain of 5. What have you made from the play calling so far from the offensive coordinator for Temple, Mike Uremovich, who comes from Northern Illinois?
Well, he's mixed it up nicely, okay? But let's be honest. When your offensive line dominates the line of scrimmage, it's like Burger King. You have it your way, all right? Whatever you want, it's there for you. You want to run it inside? Great. You want to run it outside? Great. Quick passing game, long passing game is all there for you when the offensive lineman is controlling the game.
Russo has a man in the open field. It's Blue yet again, beating Deary to the spot, and it will be another first down. Allen coming in on the coverage as well. But Jaden Blue, as we mentioned, a guy that only picked up 3 catches last year, getting more time, especially with Vintel Bryant with the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL. So again, they lost Armstead, their running back, with 13 rushing touchdowns now with the Jaguars. And an open hole, and it's Davis, the freshman, off to the races. Another touchdown for Temple. It's Ramon Davis with his first career rushing touchdown, a 51-yard scamper.
I cannot tell you how impressed I am with this freshman. He is going to be a star. If you're a Temple fan, that guy right there, he will be your guy for the next 2.5 years. He's got a split time with Gardner, but 2 years after that, once Gardner's out of here, that guy right there will be a major part of what you do.
So Mobley on for the extra point after that 51-yard pass play. And the first career receiving touchdown there from Davis. And Mobley knocks it through. But say hello to Ramon Davis, now in a Temple uniform. He wears number 20. Maybe one day could be a single-digit player in the future for the Owls.
It's coming. And this is a swing screen. Again, you got an athletic lineman to get out on the edge. The wide receivers continue to block, and you got a guy who can fly up the sidelines, and when you come to contact, he'll run through any kind of arm tag. That's not going to be enough. You got to get pad on pad, drag him down with cloth and running feet. And if you don't get in front of him, forget about it. He's like a little bowling ball right now. And again, I can't stress enough, he hasn't been through an off-season workout program. Wait till you get him on the track, and wait till you get him in the weight room and really begin to change his body and change his conditioning. He's just scratching the surface. He will be, like I said, a flat-out star for Temple.
You also have to give credit to the running back coach, Gabe Infante, in his first year as a college assistant coach from St. Joe's Prep in the area. Had a ton of success in his previous work at St. Joe's Prep.
Smart kid, too. See him going over and saying thank you to his offensive lineman? He's no dummy. He's a freshman, but he knows. Go thank the big boys in front. That's the only way you eat.
Russo in the game, 23 for 31, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
He talked about Russo being smart with the ball, getting the ball to his playmakers and letting them do all the work for him, and that's exactly what we're seeing today. He had the 1 interception on the miscue, but other than that, he's been pretty flawless.
There's the kickoff there by Mobley, and it's Dennis who has it into the end zone. Let's see if he downed it at the 3-yard line. I think it should be a touchback. That was awfully close there by Dennis. It will come out as a touchback to the 25 for Bucknell, but with 1:02 to go, and Dave Giacchini's unit on the last couple of drives, Tioka, they have definitely gotten more improved as the game has gone along.
And I'm impressed because they haven't done it with the run game. They've been able to play action Temple without any success on the ground, and a lot of it has to do with the timing and accuracy of their quarterback. It doesn't matter which one is in. They've been very accurate, especially with the slant pattern over the middle.
Charlanzio back into the game as the quarterback here for Bucknell. To his right, it's Freshnock on the read option play. He'll get the handoff. Now, Freshnock, it's an interesting story. He suffered a season-ending injury right before preseason camp began last year. In fact, Bucknell lost their top 2 running backs last year due to injury. That was Freshnock and also Marquise Carter. So Jared Cooper, who you've also seen in this game, got most of the carries last year, over 500 yards, but Freshnock, as a senior, ready to get back in it in his last year of eligibility. You see there from Middletown, New Jersey. 2nd and 10. Charlanzio again will find Freshnock running to that right side of the line as he's met by Mesde and company.
Timeout. Temple. That's their
Temple does
second
call a
charge
timeout with
timeout.
7 seconds to
Please
go.
reset the
in
game
our
clock to
first
15
half.
seconds.
Mesday
Thank you.
had 8 tackles for loss last year, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. The coaching staff tells you a guy that had 4 sacks last year, he helped set the tone with the 3 others on that line.
Undersized guy, 6'1", 240, but what you can't account for is his motor. The guy is all heart, all motor, plays 100% all the time. Give me smaller guys like that than the bigger 5-star guys who don't know when to play hard and when to play hard. I want a bunch of guys that's going to play hard every single down. I'll coach them up, and that's exactly what Rod Carey has in number 10.
So Bucknell on the flip side has gotten on the board thanks to a 36-yard interception by Pringle, the freshman, and then a 37-yard field goal by Torres. But Rod Carey, the head coach of Temple, has to be really amped up with this first half performance by the Owls. Bucknell 0 of 5 on 3rd down. Should be the last play of our first half here. It's an inside handoff again to Marquise Carter, and Temple just gobbles him up in the backfield.
Timeout. Temple.
Oh, another
the third and final charge timeout.
Yep, it's my J
Please
yet
reset
again with
the game
Mesday.
clock
You're
to
right
10
on
seconds.
Interesting
Thank
with the timeouts here by Temple. Now, you know, we've heard that Rod likes to get his guys reps. You know, he wants to get as many reps in every game as he possibly can, especially early. But I don't know if I've ever seen a scoreboard look like that, 35-9, and the defensive team calling timeouts at the end of the first half.
Game clock never ran for the previous play, so we're going to reset it to 10 seconds. We'll be 4th and 8, so Temple here, Rod Carey, here's maybe what he's thinking here, Tioka, is you give Isaiah Wright a chance from this peach and putt to run one back, which you know he's very capable of doing.
I understand. Very aggressive from your coach. Most coaches, the book says let the clock run out going with a 26-point lead, but hey, number 2 is one of your best plays. Let's see what happens.
The All-American Peachin will punt to the All-American returner in Isaiah Wright. Peachin gets this one away. It is a high booming kick, and the fair catch is caught inside the 30-yard line by Wright. There'll be 2 seconds left at our first half.
And Beechin says, not on my watch. Okay, you want showtime, not while I'm punting. No, sir, Rod Carey. I'm the best punter in America, and I've got a set of guns on me that, you don't see most punters have. But that's a beautiful job right there of negating a guy's ability just by kicking it high and long and forcing a fair catch.
Yeah, he's racked up 6 All-America awards in Peachin, the punter.
Look at those guns. Peachin's been in the weight room, hasn't he?
He's a leader, Tioka, a 2-time captain, along with Chitty this year, a guy that definitely Bucknell will rely on as Russo will take it in. That will culminate our first half. And what a start for Temple at home.
Yeah, it's an attitude check. I felt like coming to this game, Temple had to come out and show me that they wanted to take control of this game from the start, and that's exactly what they did. Give Rod Carey and his staff credit for having these guys ready to play.
Yeah, Temple's defensive front was so stealthy. Sanders also got in the mix for Bucknell, but it was too much Temple, not only through the air, but also on the ground. Gardner with a touchdown in this matchup, and a race by Davis as we reach halftime in Philadelphia. Well, at the start of our second half between Temple and Bucknell after this. Dave Leto and Tioka Jackson with you as we're getting ready for the start of the third quarter, as Temple has gone to 4 consecutive bowl games. Temple getting to the Boca Raton Bowl and the Military Bowl thanks to their former head coach in Matt Rule, who's now coaching at Baylor as well. They have done just a remarkable job. You see them beating Toledo 32-17. That's back in 2015. Matt Rule's team going to the American Conference Championship and winning back-to-back 10-4 seasons. Temple as well, losing to Wake Forest back in 2016. In the Gasparilla Bowl, Temple won 28-3 over FIU. And that was with Jeff Collins at the helm. It's Isaiah Wright going in for a touchdown there. And last year playing in the Independence Bowl and losing 56-27 after an 8-4 regular season. It was Temple going down, coached by the interim Ed Foley, and Rod Carey will look to take them to a 5th consecutive bowl this year.
Yeah, one of the most successful runs in program history over the last few years. And, we've seen Temple have great players over the past, the Paul Palmers and Muhammad Wilkersons and the like. But this is as good as it gets in terms of team success. Like I said, over the last 4 or 5, and they're trying to make it 5 bowl games in a row, which is, to me, a heck of an accomplishment for how low they were. And so you got to really take your hat off to the entire program and the administration, and Rod Carey looks to keep it going.
Don't forget, it's a Temple team as well that's gone through a bevy of coaches. Remember, Manny Diaz took the job as a defensive coordinator from Miami, took the job here at Temple, left after 18 days to go back and get his dream job at Miami, and that brought Rod Carey and his staff here to Temple from Northern Illinois.
And amid all of those distractions, you would think it would show up on the field with distracted play, but again, as I've said before, and I'll keep saying it, this team was ready to play, and that's about the staff that came.
Receiving team completed a fair catch. The ball will be placed on the 25-yard line.
Dennis out of the end zone. It will be a start at the 25-yard line here for Bucknell, but there were some trying times with this Temple team, and you got to give credit, Tyoka, to the student athletes that have sticked with the program, among them the freshman Davis, who had his first career touchdown in this game that you saw in our first halftime highlights, that they have done a terrific job sticking together amid all
of the guys in the uniform. And any coach will tell you it's about the guys on the field who make it happen. We just set the culture, and obviously they got some true leaders and character guys, unselfish guys on Temple sideline.
Yeah, it's Earl now, the quarterback, the third-string QB, a dual-threat player. Now will be taking the snaps for Bucknell. It's a gain of 2 on the play. After Binnenkofer got injured last year, Earl started the final 3 games for Bucknell, and there was an opportunity in this game that we thought that we would see 3 quarterbacks, as Dave Cicchini is getting to know them a little bit better, obviously in game action, different from spring and fall ball. And it's Earl running the show to start the third stanza here from Philadelphia. 35-9 in favor of Temple. Earl over the middle, and the pass is complete again by Dominic Lyles, who was out significant time in the spring due to injury. Sam Franklin there on the stop on that 8-yard gain.
Now this is a third quarterback who's come in and find some room over the middle of the defense of Temple. That's something that Temple has to get corrected. There's money to be made in the middle of the defense, and that's not good. Nice job of Earl coming in cold, throwing an accurate ball. He's a little bit different guy. He's a little more dynamic, can make plays with his legs. Looking forward to watching him work.
Lyles coming to the near side of the field. 3 wide receivers on the play, 2 to the top of your screen. Freshnock, the senior, to the right of Earl on 1st and 10. Rolling out is Earl looking for Sanders. That's the prime target this afternoon for Bucknell.
Now let's give this Sanders some credit and some love. He's been the offense, especially through the air for Bucknell, and that's really all they've gotten that offense from, through the air. He's been a problem with his Temple secondary. I like the way they rolled out the pocket there, making it easy read and throw for the young quarterback to get him in his rhythm as quickly as possible.
He was the only Bison to eclipse over 300 yards last year in Brandon Sanders, the sophomore. High snap, but handle there. The read option, and Earl gets taken down in company of the backfield. It was Freshnock, but Russell came right in his way. That's Chappelle, who's done a masterful job coming back off of injury on the loss of 2 for Bucknell.
My goodness, he almost took the handoff, right? I mean, these linebackers are so impressive as he goes off limping, which is not a good look, but doesn't appear too bad. Let's see if he's able to come back out here. He may not, just because of the scoreboard, but these guys are so impressive. Amazing players playing linebacker for them.
Isaiah Graham Mobley now into the game for Temple as Freshnock goes to the right side of Earl. 3rd and 7 from the 39 for Bucknell. And the pass is complete out of the backfield to Chad Freshnock for a Bison first down.
Great execution. Blown coverage by Temple. That's just an outside route, as we see from this high end zone look. I mean, it doesn't get any more simple than that. I mean, that's a blown coverage by a linebacker. Someone has him man coverage. They blew it. He's wide open. Give credit to the young quarterback Earl by not missing a layup and throwing an accurate ball.
That's the first 3rd down conversion of the game for Bucknell. 1 for 7. Here's Earl from the Temple 43. third string quarterback in, another read option. Earl keeps it, goes to this side, and it's complete here on the near field to Dominic Lyles yet again.
So if I'm on the Temple sidelines in this defensive group, I'm saying, hey, listen, we got to play better than this. This film's going to go around, and the film's going to say we can make money in the middle of the field and we can run read option passes because they seem to be hurtful to Temple. Temple's got to find a way to shut that down in a hurry so that film won't get out there.
2nd and 1. Earl on the play fake. Here comes Franklin. And also Bradley applying the pressure there for Temple. We'll set up a 3rd and short situation here for the Bison.
That's Sean Bradley. He's like a heat-seeking missile. Boy, he made up room so fast on a guy who can run. That's another NFL player that you're looking at right there. He'll be playing on Sundays for big-time pay next year.
It's a first-team All-American player, 2nd on the team in tackles for loss last year. Carter in the backfield on 3rd and 1 for Bucknell. Big play for the Bison. Earl going to throw high and in front of his intended target, Brandon Sanders, as the pocket collapsed very quickly.
See, when you can't run the football, you got to... This is 3rd and 1, and they decide to go with the play that's been successful, sort of the play action slant, but this time Temple steps up and takes the play that's been the number 1 play really for Bucknell. He takes it away.
4th and 1, the first 4th down attempt of the game for Bucknell. Last year, 5 of 19. Earl on the high snap, and they'll get the first down inside the 30-yard line. Carter has it.
Excuse me, Dave. Love the read, though. He could have easily kept that ball, but he saw that the defensive end, stayed outside as he crashed down, and you can give the ball to the back. There's room there. Excellent job. See, number 42 stayed outside to take the quarterback, and when that happens, the quarterback hands the ball off. Excellent discipline, eye discipline from the young quarterback.
10th play of the drive here for Bucknell. Play action here for Earl. Throwing off that back foot again, and the pass incomplete. On the near side looking for Stephen Wallier. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a personal foul on Temple. Late hit on Earl.
Again, Anthony Calabrese for the American is our referee.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 42. 15-yard penalty. Automatic.
And DeAndre Kelly, the grad student, is the culprit.
You know, we talked about the attitude and the way Temple has approached this game mentally. I don't like the way they've come out in the second half. Now, you got to play all 4 quarters. Even when you're winning, you can't look at the scoreboard. You know, you work too hard to come out and flop around in the second half. This is not the Temple team that was out in the first half. They got to pick it up now.
Marquise Carter again in the backfield here for Bucknell. 2 wide receivers to the top here for the Bison. It's Earl. Has some protection here, and he throws it high of Wallier yet again. Mesde had the pressure along with Diobate. Ball might have been tipped at the line as well from that pressure by the Owls.
Yeah, because he had Wallier on the crosser route. Look at the poise, though. Where's the pass rush that existed in the first half? Let's see if that arm gets hit. Maybe. That elbow may have gotten hit on the release by Roush, Quincy Roush. It may have made that a inaccurate throw.
Yeah, Roche has done
Roche,
well.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Played in 13 games last year for the 2nd straight year. 2nd and 10 here for the Bison. Have to get to the 5-yard line for another first down. It's Earl, the 3rd string quarterback, and what a catch by Sanders. Gets it right before Monroe can get to that far sideline. It's a pass play of 4, and Sanders does it again, Tioga.
Living a little dangerous with the double catch, though. Oh. Great concentration to pull it in just in the nick of time, but I'm impressed with the young kid now. This Earl, he's coming with some confidence. I like his body language, his swag. He's not scoreboard watching. He's going out to play the game that he loves, and it's showing.
Sanders with 8 catches today. It's another 3rd and 6. Here for Bucknell, high snap. Earl has it. Throws in the end zone looking for Sanders. Will we see a flag? We do not.
Oh, boy.
As Bucknell was looking for it. It was Monroe on the coverage. He might have pulled Sanders there, but no call.
Oh, he absolutely reached around the waist and pulled, and then somehow the official missed it. But, again, look at the poise for the catch on the high snap. But there's no question that should be a flag. Pulled him around the waist. And the young Earl says, look, we can't afford to have those, Mr. Official. I want to get my first touchdown pass. Come on now.
Ethan Torres back out there. Had a 37-yard field goal earlier today. Here's Torres to add more for Bucknell, and he will for the Bison. It's Temple leading 35-12 as Bucknell gets 3 more here in Philadelphia. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. From Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, it's Temple leading Bucknell 35-12. Our continuing coverage of Week 1 of the college football season, celebrating 150 years. 9:48 remaining in the third quarter. Dave Leto, Tyoko Jackson, and our entire crew. And it's good to see Bucknell making those halftime adjustments, getting on the board, bringing in the third-string quarterback, Earl.
How about that? I like the attitude they came out with. They're not scoreboard watching. They're going to come out and play football. They know that it's a blessing to play football on Saturdays. A lot of guys who haven't been able to do that.
Torres to kick off. And it's Wright, accepts it at the 6-yard line for Temple. He's had several great returns this afternoon and up at around the 30-yard line, which will start the Temple drive. It's a return of 24 yards for Wright.
Has had some really nice returns. 30-yard line is exactly what you want to get on a return, but hasn't been able to get out and really go for 6, go for those long ones that he likes. But the yardage is really racking up. He'll be one of the total offense leaders, all-purpose offense leaders in the nation when this thing's all said and done.
There are the numbers on Russo, over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, did throw a pick 6 to Pringle. It's Gardner in the backfield here for Temple, the high snap on the option play. And it is Gardner yet again. Cherubino there on the stop, who had 2.5 sacks last year for Bucknell on the pickup of 6.
Bucknell needs to get ready to try to stop the run in the whole second half. You know, when you get a lead like this in the first half and you got an offensive line who's dominating the game, there's going to be a lot of run plays called both inside and outside for Temple.
On 2nd and 6, it's another running play here for the Owls, and it is Gardner. He's done all the right things according to Rod Carey and his coaching staff in spring and fall camp, and now just has to put them together according to the coaching staff. In 2017, he played just 3 games before a season-ending knee injury, and you see the 2 touchdowns. Temple 7 of 9 on 3rd downs. It's a 3rd and 2 for the Owls. Well, the play fake again, it's Russo, and he's met by Romango. It's Connor Romango on the hip there on the tight end. Martin Robinson. It will be a first down, though, for Temple nonetheless.
Yeah, when you got 3rd and short, it's tough to play defense in that way, but Marengo did all he could do. Great execution. Look at the ball handling by Russo. Comes around on the bootleg. There's your back. Makes the easy throw. Almost dislodged that ball, but just not enough to get the ball on the ground.
Ramon Davis back into the game to the left of Russo on 1st and 10. Has his man, it's Wright. As the helmet goes flying off of Simeon Page, it's a gain of 2. 2-time All-Patriot League honoree.
It's the second time I've seen Page do a great job in pass coverage. I mean, that's a fast guy. He's coming up to hit. But look at the strength and physicality of Isaiah Wright. I mean, he is a fast guy. He's an incredible athlete. We see him do some hurdles today. But he's a tough tackle just with his ability to be physical in his lower body on contact.
On 2nd and 8, it's Mack, who's been quiet but has it across midfield and into Bucknell territory as Micah Davis brings him down. Mack had a monstrous first half, but we didn't see him in the latter stages of half number 1. Gets a play of 24 yards on that reception.
Temple went slot right. That's 2 receivers on the right-hand side and ran double post routes, and both guys were open. Not only was Wright open, but Mack was open. Easy pitch and catch for Anthony Russo. He read it out through an accurate ball, first down Temple.
Yeah, 7 catches for 109 yards just behind Blue. Got a little bit of a rest right down Broadway. It's Wright inside the 20 into the red zone for the Owls.
And Wright that time got a little too cute. He tried to cut it back before it was there. Should have just caught that ball and got straight up field. That's something you'll learn from. There's always going to be teachable moments on these, but right now you're getting wide open receivers. That time down the seam for Wright. And see that? Just go ahead and catch and get upfield. All great wide receivers. Catch the ball, get right upfield, and get positive yards right now. There'll be time to dance, Mr. Wright, but that time there wasn't.
Right to the left. Mack on the right side, part of the wide receiving core, and the give here is right up the gut to Davis, but he's met right at the 10-yard line. Bucknell's Rick Mottram there on the stop on that 7-yard gain, along with Romango, an intelligent guy that the coaching staff says gets Bucknell into the right checks. Picked up things rather quickly. One of Bucknell's most experienced players for Ryan Manilak's defensive group. He's the D coordinator for the Bison. It's a 2nd and 3 here for Russo and the Owls. Davis still in the game, the freshman running back. Rolling out to the right. Plenty of time. Russo to the end zone. Touchdown, Temple!
The old tight end throwback play. You roll one direction, the tight end gets lost on the front side and does a crossing route all the way back to the other side. Catch the defense with bad eye discipline. Easy touchdown. Look at the rollout. Tight end fakes like he's blocking and then runs a streak across the field. Excellent job of execution by Temple.
It's Aaron Jarman with his first career TD, the redshirt freshman. Sat out last year, adding to the Temple surge here. And Mobley just tacks on the extra point. Anthony Russo throws his 4th touchdown pass. And it's a big one here for the Owls to the tight end.
Roll out right. Get lost, tight end. I'll find you on the other side. Don't drop the layup. And he didn't. 42-12 Temple.
Ball Temple here in Philadelphia leading 42-12. A look at the Betsy Ross House in Center City, Philadelphia, where it is believed that Betsy Ross sewed the first American flag. Not too far from Lincoln Financial Field, Dave Leto, Tayuka Jackson, and our entire ESPN crew. Jarman on the touchdown. Let's see how Bucknell and Cooper respond. Set to receive this kickoff by LaFree. And it is Micah Dennis inside the 10 and then right up the gut past the 20-yard line. And that's where Bucknell's drive will begin. It was an exceptional start to this game by Earl, coming in as a 3rd-string quarterback in this 3rd quarter. Did not start. It was Bidicoffer, then Sherlanzio as they flip back and forth. And it's Earl, and you see there, number 12, Bidicoffer, Tayuka, coming back out onto the field.
Yeah, they keep switching them back and forth, but whoever's been in the game, they found one guy open every single time they need to, and that's Brandon Sanders. Boy, this Brandon Sanders is having himself a day. When a wide receiver is 89% of the total offense, you know he's balling.
Sanders didn't have a touchdown last year, but had over 500 yards receiving. Cooper into the game. Play action here for Bidicoffer. Underthrew Sanders that time, and he really made a great move there on Monroe, the grad transfer from Penn State, but couldn't connect on the opportunity.
He was open again. It was a post corner. He's running great routes. He doesn't look at the scoreboard
Personal
clearly.
Foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 56. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's going against Chris Banks, the redshirt freshman.
This is mental mistakes from Temple. You don't want it. This is the 2nd consecutive drive where they've had a bad penalty defensively. Let's watch Banks here, number 56, right in the middle of your screen. And see the late hands get up in the face mask. Now, once you feel that, you got to let it go. I mean, it can happen. Your hands can slide up, but once you feel that plastic in your hands, let go and keep working. He kept his hands on there and got caught.
5 penalties for 45 yards for Temple out of the backfield. It's Cooper. It hit immediately by Sam Franklin, the senior.
How about this from Franklin? Last year, he completed the defensive cycle. Had at least 1 tackle, 1 TFL, 1 interception, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery last season. This dude does it all, and if you catch the ball in front of him, get ready, because number 4 is going to run his feet on contact and blow you up.
Yeah, last year, Tayuka, to your point, not only played linebacker, defensive end, also used in nickel packages as well for Temple's defense. We'll set up a 2nd and 8 from the Bucknell 40 for Bidicoffer. Pressure comes, he evades one, and then brought down to the backfield by Karamo Diobate.
They can't block him. They just can't block him up front long enough to get anything going. Obviously, Sanders, the wideout, is having a great day when they do get it to him. but consistently, the guys in the maroon are running through the guys in white. And I don't care who the quarterback is. They've got 3 of them, and all 3 of them have been harassed by the big boys up front of Temple. And it's continuing in the second half.
2 sacks today for Temple's defense. Will set up a 3rd and 16 for Bucknell from their own 32. Here's Bidekoffer off his back foot. Here comes Jared Cooper racing across the 40 at just shy of the 45-yard line. Banks there on the coverage. It is a gain of 12. More breathing room, though, for Peachin, the All-American punter for Bucknell.
Well, Temple's running a soft zone there on 3rd and long, and so I like the call with the screen, but what about the hustle from Banks and his guys coming downfield? When you run screens, you're testing the hustle and effort from a defensive line, and Temple is up to the task.
Isaiah Wright, first-team All-American from West Hartford, Connecticut. Received this punt from the 2-time captain, Alex Peachin.
I usually don't get excited to watch punters go to work, but right now I'm excited about this guy.
Yeah, Peachin has had some terrific punts today, to no surprise, and pins right inside the 5-yard line, makes one miss. It's right, brought down at the 20-yard line by Bucknell's Jimmy Sheehan. Well, Wright and company are doing fantastic work here at home. They're up 42-12 over Bucknell. Back after these words. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Dave Leno, Tycho Jackson, our entire crew. Temple leading 42-12 over Bucknell with over 3 minutes to go. Temple had a great year a year ago under Jeff Collins, 8-5, including the Independence Bowl loss to Duke. They did go to that bowl game, but they had 1 loss last year, and that was to UCF. They threw over 444 yards. So Rod Carroty's coaching staff looking to continue the success. It, by all means, Tyoka, is not a rebuilding job here at Temple. They just want to sustain what Jeff Collins did last year and the year before, and Matt Rule and company before that.
And that's not easy to do, especially when you're a new guy coming in. Like I said, he had to win the locker room. And this is just one game. I understand that. We got a long way to go, but the way they're playing, for the most part, has been exactly the way you want to see a front runner play.
Russo looking for Mack outside, and he has the catch. Brought down by Jonathan Searcy, the freshman from Medford, New Jersey.
We said it before, but I want to say it again to emphasize the physicality of these receivers. You know, a lot of receivers are sort of prima donna pretty boy types, right? They catch little out routes or whatever, get out of bounds. These Temple receivers are tough tackles because they run hard. They make you come up and tackle them, and I like to see it.
Yeah, that's Brandon Mack today, Jaden Blue, Isaiah Wright also getting involved not only from his return prowess but also receiving. Randall Jones has gotten in the mix. Just a lot of weapons at the disposal of Russo and company. Let's see the triple option again. They give it to the freshman Davis across the 30. And just shy of the 35-yard line for Ramon Davis.
This is the time of the ball game where you see the FBS, FCS stuff start to shake out. You know, the depth of the Temple Owls and the tempo begins to wear on what's happening with the Bison.
See the disparity there in the first downs favoring Temple there in the total yards, eclipsing over 500 in the game. See the tight end David Martin Robinson just in front of Russo here. Russo down the field, has Blue, and just ahead of him.
See, that's the type of play that Temple needs to hit on. I mean, there are going to be some corrections tomorrow for Rod Carey. I guarantee you that. I don't care who you're playing, you don't get opportunities to have guys running wide open down the seam, or down the numbers, and you miss them. And it was a terrific throw, but you got to find a way to time that thing out. That's what you work on in practice. That was almost as if it was on air, and it came up with no catch.
2nd and 10 here for Russo. It's right past Pringle. Benson got a hit on him. See those screen passes just very clinical out there for Temple. The gain of 7 to Isaiah Wright.
And you see how Wright, when he got near the sidelines, he wasn't looking to go out. He's looking for more yards. That's what I mean about these receivers. They're not looking to just go down and get out of bounds. I played with a lot of guys like that. These guys are looking for more yards.
Throw out into the flat again, it's Blue. And I also like, Tyoka, the ability of these wide receivers to get rid of their assignments and to go out and block. maybe when you think the intended target would be somebody else, it's that quick recognition to get out there and lay that block to help a teammate.
That's coaching and that's unselfish players. Those two things come together. Every coach in America wants his wide receivers to block like this, but they all don't because some guys are just too selfish to do it.
Another first down here for the Owls. And moving a pile across the 45-yard line again is Jagger Gardner as well for the gain of 3, brought down by Ben Allen, a freshman from White House, Ohio for Bucknell.
The physicality of the offensive line is just, it's showing up. And you know, the Bucknell kids are playing hard. There's no question about that, but it just sort of outmanned with size and speed, and it's tough. But I like the fact that there's no quitting the guys in white at all.
You see Adam Klein doing a nice job on that right side of the line with Bakosi. Klein, only freshman in the country to start for at least 9 games last year. It's a pitch to right again, gets another block on the outside by Martin Robinson. Wright still on his feet, gets past one man in Simeon Page, and Wright is out of bounds for Temple on the big play for the Owls.
I know I sound like a broken record, but it's not my fault, Dave. The guys are physical on the outside. They're breaking tackles. These are what's supposed to be small, little guys, skill position guys, breaking tackles like they're running backs. And Wright, when he gets the ball, it's a punt return every single time. Look at the physicality. Look at the will to stay up and get more. He's hungry. He's greedy. He wants big plays. He's looking for them. I want guys like that on my team.
34-yard play to Wright. But back to live action here, you see Garrett Van Italy is down here for Bucknell. Started 4 games at safety last year, but now transitioning in that linebacking spot, backing up one of the other captains, Sam Chitty.
I like the way you say that name.
Yep.
Properly. There's a way to say that wrong, and we're not going to get into that right now. But I'm just saying you're doing a heck of a job every single time. And he's made his share of plays, too. So you've had to say his name a lot.
Yeah, 41 tackles last year for Van Italy, the junior from Jersey.
Good to see him get up and walk off on his own power.
Yeah, just a big transition for him talking with the staff of Bucknell coming into this game, because originally last year played a lot at safety, got ample time, but this year with some lethal linebackers that are so good in the Patriot League like Page, Mottram, Chitty. We've seen Bryda get in the game before he got hurt. Ben Allen. Van Italy's going to have to battle for time this year, but I think you're going to see a lot of them.
And those types of battles make guys better. You want competition. Inter-squad competition brings out the best in everybody.
Last play here of the third quarter. Russo looking for Mack yet again. And Mack shoved out of bounds there by Micah Dennis. That will take us to the culmination of the third quarter on that 13-yard pass play to Brandon Mack. And the surge continues for the Temple Owls here at home. Fans have a lot to cheer for the Cherry and White. They're up big 42-12 over Bucknell. Come on back for the fourth quarter after this. Start of the fourth quarter in Philadelphia, Temple leading 42-12. One of the reasons why is the quarterback Anthony Russo is having a field day for the Owls.
The Johnny Unitas Golden Arm and Maxwell Award nominee is not disappointing today. We said when he is down, he's not very good, but when he's hot, he's as good as anyone. Well, he's hot today, folks. All right. How about 78% completion, over 400 yards in total offense, and 4 TDs. Had the 1 interception, but it was a miscue off the routes. But everything else, he's had time and he's been accurate. This is the type of day he needed.
Back to live action here. It is Davis reaching for the pylon, and Davis is in for his second touchdown this afternoon.
You know how I feel about this kid. I'm not going to keep lathering him up. He's just a freshman. All right, he's got a long way to go, and he's got a long way to go this season. He's got an upperclassman in front of him, Gardner. But I'm just saying, the vision on this run. A lot of guys would have ran into darkness. Look at the patience. Breaks the tackle, doesn't want to go out of bounds. A lot of guys would have found their way not to be in the end zone there with bad balance and bad vision. I like this Davis. Great body, too. You see the thickness in his body?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a kid. Now, he's playing high school football. I don't know. You show me what they were doing with him in high school.
Played at Blair Academy, a native of San Francisco. It's Mobley on for the extra point. He's perfect from the PAT spot this afternoon, and a huge lead for Temple, leading 49-12 over Bucknell.
The blocking, though. This is zone blocking, outside zone blocking. Not only are they taking care of the front side, but the backside pursuit is taken away too. He makes one guy miss with a run through of that tackle, and he finished it off easily though. But the offensive line has been dominating all day, has pretty much kept their quarterback Russo's jersey clean. And we said this earlier, when your offensive line is doing this, it's you have it your way. It's whatever you want, it's going to have a chance because you'll have time and running lanes in the run game.
It's a great result so far for Temple, part of the American Conference. We should note Memphis with a stunning victory at Ole Miss. They win 15-10 at Ole Miss today. Navy leading Holy Cross as well around the American Conference landscape.
You say stunning, and it's probably on paper an upset, but I've seen this Memphis team live. I opened up with Memphis last year. Now that was on the road, which makes it a great win, but they've got athletes. They've got an identity. They know exactly who they are offensively. They spread it out, and they can run the football. And defensively, they got athletes as well.
It's tennis in the end zone. It will be a touchback here for Bucknell. And you're right about Memphis. Picked to finish first in the American Conference West Division. And also a team like Cincinnati, who had a fantastic victory over UCLA. And this is a very deep American Conference.
How about Kelly and UCLA? I mean, they're reeling out there. To me, that loss is more about UCLA than it is Cincinnati. Cincinnati can play. I thought Cincinnati, was probably the favorite going into that game. I'm not shocked that they won it. But the way they won it was impressive. But I'm looking at UCLA going, what's going on out there in Tinseltown, right? I mean, you've got that great tradition. You bring out what's supposed to be an offensive genius, and they've struggled offensively last year and the beginning of this year.
Earl back as the quarterback here for Bucknell. And the closest player in the vicinity of him is Brandon Sanders. And Sanders makes up most of the production of this Bucknell offense this afternoon, as Levine had the pressure.
Yeah, he's shown us something. I mean, he's come out, FCS, FBS, it doesn't really matter. He's taken to whoever's guarding him. It doesn't matter which quarterback has been in the game. He's consistently been open. They haven't had the time to really take advantage of him, but he's well over 100 yards receiving anyway.
2nd and 10 here for the Bison. One touchdown today was a pick six by Pringle, the freshman, on the read option. And Sanders on the slant and has the first down for Bucknell.
They flat out can't guard him. They can't stop Sanders. This is your day, number 5. Come out for a quick break, get yourself some Gatorade or some water or whatever, and come right back out because you're eating hard here. Look at this. He's there for him whenever they have the time to get him. And then, as we said before, the middle of this defense, there's holes there on slants. It's been consistent. It's a problem that needs to get corrected for Temple.
9 catches for 116 yards there for Sanders. As our fourth quarter is underway. It's a fake there to Carter, but over his intended target there for Bucknell. Stephen Wallier, who the coaching staff said is the most improved wide receiver for Bucknell.
Taryn Earl just missed him there. It's just a flag. He knew it as soon as he let it go. He started clapping his hands in disgust as soon as he let it go. But we had another wide open receiver, this time in the flat. And Memphis is going to see this film. Cincinnati is going to see this film. The rest of the American Conference is going to see this film. Temple needs to get this corrected immediately. You can make money against Temple through the air, seemingly.
2nd and 10 from the 38 here for the Bison. Earl right down the middle. The pass incomplete, looking for Carter out of the backfield again. Chris Banks with the pressure right on Taryn Earl.
You can make money through the air against Temple seemingly if you block them. Okay, now that's a whole nother proposition that Bucknell has struggled with. But this is what's going to make Temple a formidable defense. Yes, you can throw the ball on them, but can you block them consistently when you need to? And the question is, I don't know with these types of athletes in their front 7.
We know so much about Temple's defense. They led the nation last year in 8 defensive touchdowns. Don't have one today, nonetheless. A superior performance against Bucknell. On 3rd and long, and the pass incomplete, looking for Carter yet again. And we'll bring back on Peachin and company for the special teams unit.
The young quarterback is speeding himself up. He's going too fast, and I understand why. You get tattooed by some of these big guys a couple times. It's hard to forget that sort of thing. This is the maturation process of a young quarterback. You have to allow yourself the poise to go through the progressions and let the routes develop before you let that ball go.
See the average there, over 50 yards per punt today for Peachin. A lot of scouts are taking a look at him. Fifth-year player out of Kennett Square, PA, played at Unionville. In fact, he was a quarterback, a place kicker, and a punter. Didn't really come in and think he was going to punt playing college football, but coaching staff at the time said, we got to use what you're best at, and his punting has been so good for Bucknell. And look at this return by Wright here, making one man miss, and then brought down by Romango, part of the special teams unit. While the return there, a 50-yard punt there by Peachin, and the punt return good for 18. Here comes the Temple offense after this. Sensational performance to start week one for Temple, leading 49-12 over Bucknell. There's a lot of history between these two. It's the 45th meeting between the two. They last played in 1970, played every year from 1927 through 70, playing for the Old Shoe Trophy. That's not on the line today, but nonetheless, they're renewing this battle as Ton Centeo, the number 2 quarterback for Temple, is now in the game, and his first pass is incomplete, looking for Jones. Centeo's that guy that's a dual threat quarterback for the Owls, 12 of 18 last year for $149 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 1 rushing touchdown as well. So a fantastic day for Russo as he goes 32 of 41 for 409 yards and 4 touchdowns. Centeo on the quarterback keeper. Good stop on the inside there for Bucknell as well, as Searcy comes up there. Another look at Centeo from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and it adds to the step for Temple, part of their quarterbacking core.
It does, and he's a dynamic athlete. He's a guy that can throw the ball, but when the play breaks down, he's got some quickness and wiggle to him to make people look silly.
Centeo on the outside, the pass complete here for the Owls as well. It's Thomas Mattioni. He joined as a walk-on in 2017 with Eric Kavlak. Went to Downingtown West High School, so a local product for Mattioni. So you're seeing some of the reserve players, guys that are 3 and 4 of the depth chart at the respective positions, getting some time here.
How about the diving catch by Mattioni?
Yeah.
I mean, you can come off the bench, show me something, young man, and that's exactly what he did. Beautiful catch, because that ball was high and outside, but he laid out for it.
Second punt upcoming today. It's 4th and 2.
Look at the little muddle huddle from Temple. This is something they're putting out on film that people will have to prepare for, because they can easily run plays out of this.
Barry's the new punter because Bowler transferred to UNC Charlotte. It's a good punt here by Barry, and here is Cooper. Minimal gain there for Jared Cooper. 44-yard punt there for Adam Barry. Anthony Russo, just a fantastic day, over 400 yards last year, threw for over 400 against UCF in that tight loss.
Been excellent with the efficiency. I mean, they've had 7 drives of 70-plus yards. I mean, that is beautiful. That's NFL-type stuff. The NFL guys don't do it that much. Usually when you have to drive that long, they screw it up with penalties, miscues, and so forth. But Russo has managed the game. He's made almost every play that's been available to him, just a couple errant throws and the one pick that was really more in the route running. But he's been stellar today.
Sherlanzio is back in the game, quarterback for Bucknell, as Freshnock has the handle. That's a gain of 4 for the Bison. So again, led by a new coach, if you're just joining us, Dave Cicchini. Last 5 years at Valparaiso, has a lot of experience having coached at Harvard, the Citadel, Lehigh. He's also a guy in Cicchini that mentored Ryan Fitzpatrick, the 2004 Ivy League Player of the Year. And oh, by the way, Tioka, Fitzpatrick was just named the #1 starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins in place of Josh Rosen, which turned some heads.
That's right. My former teammate,
Yep.
We had him in St. Louis. And in fact, I can't remember the record, but some sort of record of a rookie on the road in a playoff game. Bottom line is, we went up to Seattle with a rookie quarterback back when Seattle was, really humming in the NFC West, and we won a road game in the first round of playoffs with that kid from Harvard, Ryan Fitzpatrick, a terrific player, and he's been doing it for a long time. Made a ton of money, too. Let's not forget that now.
Yep. 3rd and 5 here for Bucknell, down 49-12. Ball to 28 here for the Bison, and Sherlanzio. And he has his man Lyles. That will move the sticks for Bucknell. That's a good side for the Bison. As Freddie Johnson comes up with the stop, a gain of 11 that will move the sticks.
And you know, this Fitzpatrick is probably the most well-liked player by all the ladies in the country because the guy used to wear his wedding ring during the games. So he's loved by all ladies around America when you see a guy on the field doing that.
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney was rumored to go to the Miami Dolphins and join them, but he already has signed as of this morning with Seattle.
Yeah, that's a great get for Seattle. He'll play his natural defensive end, 5 technique and 7 technique. And I always thought that he was playing out of position as an outside linebacker for the Texans. Yeah. Obviously, in third down, he would get his hand on the ground. But now he's going to have his hand on the ground every single play in a defense that suits him. Look out for Jadeveon Clowney next year.
And the first catch this afternoon by Jake Wilson, the senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. Converted to a wide receiver from a quarterback role. And the carry there by Freshnock and Bucknell. That's close to the first down marker. It's a gain of 7 on the play for Dave Cicchini, who's last year this Bucknell team went 1-10. They bit a lot of the injury bug. They were mired by all those injuries, more so on the offensive side than the defensive side of the ball. Implementing a new program, new style there at Bucknell, and we'll have to rack up some more wins in the Patriot League.
And in order to change a culture, you got to get new players. And that's what he's going to start doing with recruiting different players, the players that fit what he likes to do.
And that pass is nearly intercepted in the middle of the field for Temple. It was Trayvon King who had the pressure for the Owls, and Bruton almost came away with the pick.
Late over the middle. That's a no-go there. You don't ever want to be late down the middle because the defense is reading your eyes, and they will put their hands on the ball. And just fortunately enough for the Bison, Bruton dropped it. And he'll be teased in the meeting room tomorrow, you can best assure. You get 2 hands on the football, you got to come up with that one.
Temple, in fact, led the American interceptions last year with 18 of them. 2nd and 10 here for Bucknell, just shy of midfield for Sherlonzio. And out of the backfield, it's Freshnock again. Cross midfield and down to the 45-yard line of Temple. A pickup of 7 there for Freshnock. George Reed coming in for the Owls and with the coverage.
Freshnock has had a nice little game today.
Yeah.
He's picked up some yardage inside, and he's been really nice surprise in the pass game.
Last played in 2017 at 6 touchdowns. Remember, he got hurt before preseason camp last year, so great to see the senior back out there for Bucknell on a 3rd and 3 on the option play, and it's Marquise Carter that has the first down for Dave Cicchini's unit.
Marquise Carter missed all but 1 game in 2018. Good to see him back on the field. They're going to need him as they get in conference play later on. I like the block, and obviously these are backup players for Temple, but they're starting to create holes. You can't control who's in front of you. All you can do is control your effort. Bucknell continues to play hard, which speaks to their character and their coaching staff.
Hiroshko there was for the stop for Temple. It'll be 1st and 10 here from the Temple 37-yard line. Sherlonzio with pressure coming and nearly threw it into the hands of Trayvon King. That was great pressure by Leighton Jordan, the redshirt freshman, getting some action.
Yeah, he was trying to sneak in a late pass to avoid the sack, and his best in that situation, just throw the ball out of bounds. All right, don't try to throw it back towards the middle, cross your body. No. You throw that ball out of bounds. Let's not create a catastrophe where there once was not. Unfortunately, the ball was dropped for Temple, fortunately for the Bison, but he'll learn from that one. Throw the ball out of bounds and play the next play.
A little over 9 minutes to go in our 4th quarter. Dave Leto, Tyoka Jackson, and our entire crew. Here's Sherlonzio on the read option again. It's Marquise Carter. Makes 1 miss, then 2. And just shy of the 30-yard line on the scamper of 5 for Carter, the junior.
Nice call. I love the call. Going with the shotgun draw, getting Temple upfield. They're very aggressive with their pass rush. They'll create the natural run lanes just by getting off the ball. Use that speed and quickness up front against Temple for positive yardage.
Bison 2 of 2 on 3rd downs on this drive for Sherlonzio. 3rd and 5 for the Temple 32 for Bucknell's offense. Carter has it on the option again, jetting to that outside and towards the 26-yard line. That will move the sticks. Freddie Johnson a little bit late there. Leighton Jordan also as well.
Offensive coordinator Jason Mirren is seeing that this offensive line is sort of pushing around the backups. And so go ahead and keep calling the run plays. It does two things. Keeps this clock running because you don't want to get any injuries in a game like this, but it gives your offense line some confidence as the backup players look a little gassed up front.
Sherlanzio will roll right this time. And the pass is incomplete. And here come the flags. It was late. Winston on the coverage. And it's going to go against Temple as Ty Mason also coming in late for the Owls defensively.
Timing was almost perfect, looked to me. I don't think there's pass interference there.
Oh, yeah,
oh, boy.
That's not good.
Oh, wow.
That was Ty Mason, 15.
Yeah, that's helmet to helmet. They're going to look at that, no question about it.
Was Connor Holmes the intended target right here?
Terrific play by the safety, but then, yeah, that's the stuff that we're trying to clean up in the game. You got to get that head out of it.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 15, with targeting. The previous play is under review.
Yep, so by rule that they'll take a look at this. That was Anthony Calabrese, our referee. So the replay operator, Buddy Ward, will also have a look. Here's the targeting rule. A dangerous hit that involves launching an upward thrust or severe strike. It's a 15-yard penalty and ejection when forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless opponent.
And looking at that replay, Dave, I think he's gone.
Yep.
I think he'll be gone the rest of this game and the first half of their next game because he checked off too many boxes. I mean, you've got helmet-to-helmet contact there by Ty Mason. Yeah, and he's a little late with it. I mean, that's just you can't be that high with any part of your body, but then you use your helmet. You got no chance there. I mean, not saying he did it on purpose, but that's textbook targeting, and he'll have to pay the price.
That was Connor Holmes for the freshman trying to get his first catch.
And I'm glad Holmes is not hurt.
Yeah.
And he showed some great quad flexibility because he ended up in a very awkward position. If you or I get in that position, I think we might be out for the season, right? I mean,
understood.
I'll speak for myself on that way. I mean, you look pretty limber. I don't know.
Deceptively quick.
That's right.
You're taking a look at Ty Mason.
The
Here's
ruling
the call.
on the field is confirmed. Number 15 has been disqualified.
So Ty Mason is out due to targeting.
Back in my day, that's a good hit. That's a receiver playing the price. Well, the game's changed. We're trying to save our game. All right, we all know about the issues with the head injury, traumatic brain, all that stuff, and so there are things that you just can't do anymore that you used to do back in the day. All right, that was football back in the day. Now that's not football anymore. Right now we're using shoulders, contacting with the middle part or lower part of the body, nothing above the neck, especially with your head.
Bucknell's third drive of 8 of more plays. The first 2 capitalized on 2 field goals by Torres. Resume action with 7:56 to go in the fourth. Fresh knocks in the back as well. Sherlanzio, the quarterback, throws over the middle. And it's Wallier, comes down with the catch of the 3-yard gain. Johnson there on the stop for the Owls.
Sherlanzio has to be happy with the amount of time he has. He hasn't had this much time all game. I mean, you get enough time to survey the field, you can hit yourself across and coming across with an accurate pass. The coverage was pretty good, but Waller had plenty of time to get across the field, and it was an accurate ball from Sherlanzio.
Quarshie comes into the game for Temple on the line. They're on 2nd and 7. Sherlanzio under pressure there. That was terrific work up top by Leighton Jordan coming in again and talking with Rod Carey, the head coach with Temple. He pointed out Jordan in particular, Tioga, a redshirt freshman that's going to be really special moving forward as he grows in this Temple program.
Yeah, one coaching point there. You came free, unblocked on the corner. Don't jump. Just run through the quarterback because there'll be some nifty quarterbacks with a ton of confidence. They'll pump fake you and keep on going. Don't jump when you're the only guy in the quarterback's face. Run through the quarterback. He'll learn that as time goes on.
3rd and 7, read option. It's Fresh knock, making one man miss, but brought down inside the 10-yard line, just a yard short on that 5-yard gain. Play by Reed.
This is where the backups have to show some pride for Temple. The defense, the frontline defense, have played great. Have only given up 1 touchdown. We need the backups to come in and play like starters. You need to have the pride to keep the offense out of the end zone too.
Bucknell is 1 for 1 on 4th down so far. Here's Sherlanzio with fresh knock next to him on the read option again. Sherlanzio keeps it, will find Wallier. And the pass is complete there to Wallier. Let's see what the official spotted here. Officials will stop the clock here. Oh, that was a 4th and 2 play.
I love the coverage by Winston. He was all over the play, made a very short tackle.
Yeah, he didn't get it there. It's Temple ball. It was a turnover on downs. Wallier doesn't come up. Here, Tioka, here's another look at it.
Ran the read option, on the move, game of inches. Excellent tackle by Winston, 49-12 Temple.
There's Hooter the Owl having a great time at Lincoln Financial Field, seeing his team up 49-12 over Bucknell. A little over 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Dave Leto, Tioka Jackson, our entire crew from Philadelphia. Centeo, the number 2 QB, is in the game, replacing Russo, who threw for over 400 yards, accompanied by 4 touchdowns. Run there by Temple's Dobbins. Centeo threw for 2 touchdowns last year. Played in every game, in fact. Really entered a lot of special packages with that dual threat ability. Dobbins is going to come out of the game here for Temple. It's a fake on that jet sweep, and on the option, it is Centeo again. You know, we talked so much about the special positions of Temple today. I know you really wanted to hit on just how great the offensive line looked this afternoon for the Owls.
Because every week in the American Conference, you won't have the athletic mismatches on the outside that you got today. So it's going to come down to that offensive line. Are they going to be able to run the football consistently? Because they can throw it. Will they be able to run it consistently when they need to stay balanced on offense?
Centeo has a man open deep down the field.
He's gone.
To the 25, 10-5, touchdown Temple. Trayvon Williams.
$5'6", $180, and can fly, as you saw. And this is what we're talking about. You're not going to have this mismatch every single week, but you got it right now, so go ahead and exploit it. The offensive line has been stellar, but so have the skill position guys too. And that's a nice moment for the senior to get himself a touchdown in the season opener. Everybody getting a chance to eat for Temple. It's great for the camaraderie. It's great for the work tomorrow and the rest of the week.
Mobley on for the extra point. Spin perfect this afternoon for Temple. And the onslaught continues for the Temple Owls. Todd Centeo throws a bomb here to Williams.
And why not? He's wide open. But again, we've seen inaccurate passes and drop balls in situations like this. Go ahead and execute every play that's there. It's been a ton of them. And the senior has got to feel good to run it in the end zone like that. 56-12.
Back in Philadelphia, Dave Leto, Tioka Jackson with Temple leading 56-12 thanks to that 89-yard touchdown pass to Trayvon Williams, his 2nd career TD. As the Fray will kick this off, and Bucknell's offense will come back on the field. Let's go back to that TD pass from this high angle, Tioka.
Well, it's supposed to be 3 deep coverage, which means
both
corners are going deep with one safety in the middle. As the officials interrupt us. But the corner pulls up on the outside route. You got to get deep. 3 deep means 3 people deeper, and as the deepest and wide as the widest. They turn Trayvon loose, and Centeo says, thank you very much. I'll get me a long touchdown pass on an easy throw.
It's the longest touchdown pass by Temple since October 26, 2013. Jalen Fitzpatrick to Robbie Anderson. That was for 83 yards at SMU. You see, nearly 700 yards of total offense by Temple today.
Now, certainly the stats are incredible, and Temple was dominated, right? But we talked about Temple coming out and playing with attitude, playing to win, and forgetting about who's FBS, who's FCS. None of that matters. Just ask the guys at Tennessee. Right now, Georgia State is up by 1 in Knoxville over Tennessee. You think Tennessee came out to play? Right, you got to come out and play every single game like it matters, or you will get stunned That's not happening to Temple today.
Ellington just threw a pass 10 minutes into the third quarter to Payne for a touchdown, as that one just ended in the third in Knoxville. And here in Philadelphia, it's Jared Cooper there on the run for Bucknell. Both teams under new head coaches, Dave Cicchini for Bucknell, Rod Carey from Northern Illinois, now spearheading Temple, brought a lot of his staff from NIU over to Philadelphia.
He created a brand at NIU. They were going to be about being physical, running the football, big-time play action downfield. That brand will get recreated in Philadelphia, and I think the crowd will, and the fans and the students will love this brand of football.
Here's Earl on 3rd and 3 on the keeper, and we'll just throw it away. It was great pressure there by Temple. Eric Kevlak there on the stop for the Owls.
Kevlak closed hard on that rollout. You know, all these Temple guys are very physical tacklers. I've noticed that it doesn't matter who it is. They're looking to blow people up. And that's what you want to see in defensive football players.
Audley Isaacs as well, redshirt sophomore, got into it there for Temple.
I don't want guys grabbing jersey trying to sling you down. I want people who want to put and lay the wood to people, put their arms around, run their feet with hard contact. Gets me fired up, Dave.
Peach and the All-American set to punt this away. Patriot League male scholar athlete. And here's the return here by Prince. Backing up right. Let's go back, Tioka, to Anthony Russo's monstrous day here in Philly.
Well, it always started with the offensive line. Look how little pressure it is. Now, this is just 7-on-7 in practice. If you can get back, set your feet, breathe, and take your time, if you're any kind of quarterback, you're going to have a nice day. If you're a terrific quarterback like Russo, you're going to have an extraordinary day. His offensive line did it for him, and he finished it off by throwing very accurate passes that allowed his receivers to run with the football. This will be a day to remember. That's exactly how you want to start off a season, feeling confident, getting ready to watch film and work out tomorrow, and get ready for a tougher opponent come next week.
You see over 400 yards for Russo, 4 touchdowns through 1 pick 6 to Pringle early on for Bucknell. That's their only score aside from the 2 field goals from Torres today. And Anthony Russo has dealt with a calf injury coming into this game. The coaching staff, though, was very cautious and named him the #1 starter for week 1. Remember, he assumed that #1 duties from Frank Newtile in game 3 last year. His first career game was at Maryland last year and held that job throughout the year. So here's Temple again across the 30-yard line, and it's a good run again for Temple's Prince. That's Jason Prince getting into action.
The challenge for Anthony Russo is to play at a high level consistently, to minimize his mistakes consistently, be a very efficient quarterback week in and week out. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to have days like this every week, but the efficiency needs to be there and not turning the ball over. If he does that, Temple is going to be a really tough out.
Yeah, Jeremy Jennings was the one who previously ran there for Temple, not Prince. Nonetheless, it's Centeo still in the game here for the Owls. And you'll see him for the bulk of the season, especially when Temple gets into conference action as well. You look at the upcoming schedule. Again, this Temple team had 8 wins last year against Maryland, Buffalo, familiar opponents for them. Then the return game against Jeff Collins, who was the previous coach at Temple. That one right here in the link against Georgia Tech. That's going to be an exciting matchup.
I like next week's matchup against Maryland.
Yeah.
Mike Loxley has brought in some big-time recruits already, and Anthony McFarland Jr. is one of the best backs in America. He's just a sophomore at DeMatha Catholic.
Throw out wide here for Temple. Incomplete, just shy of the 30-yard line there for the Owls. And Searcy there. We'll start Reams. That comes up with the catch there for Temple. These guys lower on the depth chart are getting some time here. The Owls leading by 44 in the game. That's a Temple team that was picked to finish 4th in the American. And Dobbins, the ball carrier there, the redshirt freshman, trying to gain some yardage here against Bucknell. With 1:23 remaining in regulation and 4th and long, it's going to send the punting unit out for Temple.
The screen game is a big part of Temple's offense, both to the receivers and the running back. And that time you saw the young Victor Stoffel, the freshman, 6'8", 282 pounds, going out looking for somebody to block, pirouetting, trying to find somebody. And you got to find somebody, young man. You got to get that big body on a defender and help you guys out.
There's Barry to punt it away. It's a good-looking punt to Cooper. Has it at the 19-yard line for Bucknell, but hit immediately on a well-done special teams play by Mitchell. That's a nice hit there by Ebiketie getting into action. Another look.
Well, Bucknell's coverage team has been stellar, but that's a nice job right there. You know, and you say, hey, he was unblocked or whatever. No, you make a play in space that way. And that's what we talk about, getting pad on pad, wrapping your arms. There is no broken tackle when you bring your arms on a tackle like that.
So Bucknell next will be at Sacred Heart, who they lost last year 30-14 at home. Didn't win a home game last year. They faced Temple in 2 FCS programs that cracked the national top 10 last year during the first 5 weeks. So it's a very challenging schedule under the Dave Cicchini year. He's going to learn a lot about his team very quickly.
Well, Dave and his staff and his team won't face anybody like this the rest of the year. Okay, so they'll look better next week. Now, certainly it's not going to be a gimme, but you'll have the ability to create your own mismatches. And no matter who they play, I can tell you right now, Mr. Sanders, Brandon Sanders, number 5, needs to be dealt with on every single play.
Another read option as Bidikofer comes back into the game. Fresh knock across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play for Bucknell. It's Midori's there on the stop for Temple. So Bucknell's going to fall to 0-1 at the Dave Cicchini error. And Temple will improve to 1-0 with their new head coach, Rod Carey. New total offense record nearing 700 yards in the game for the Owls. Read option again. Bidikofer hit as he throws, and the pass is incomplete.
Well, it's been a story all day. Every time they try to get something going, there's some sort of play by the defensive line, whether it's a TFL on the run game or the unrelenting pressure on whoever has been in at quarterback. And now the backup defensive linemen are getting into it too.
That was Horoshko applying the pressure there on Bidikofer, who started this game. We saw all 3 quarterbacks, and this should be the last play from scrimmage today. There's Bidikofer over to the senior Freshnock. He'll get the last carry, and that will do it in Philadelphia. A monstrous victory and the Gatorade bath for Rod Carey. Congratulations to Coach Carey and his coaching staff on his first win at Temple.
You always remember your first, and you got to give him credit. As I said before, getting these guys ready to play. There are some dog fights out there that shouldn't be because teams weren't ready to play and they were the favorite. This team was a heavy favorite coming out, but they respected their opponent by coming out and giving max effort from play number 1. And they took care of business the way they're supposed to.
695 yards for Temple, 211 for Bucknell. Yes, Tioka, this was an FBS versus FCS matchup, but like we said from the top of the broadcast today, these coaches were going to learn a lot about their teams, and this Temple team, first and foremost, is going to be very fun to watch moving forward.
They are. They have tremendous athletes on both sides of the ball. Their linebacking core is as good as anybody in America. They go deep with speed and size and power running on the outside with their receivers. The key to Temple's season really will be how their back end plays defensively and how consistent Anthony Russo is. Can he cut the mistakes down, be efficient as a passer, and take the plays that are given? Don't try to do too much. You got great athletes. When you got great athletes like this, just get them in their hands with easy throws and let them go to work.
So Temple with the 44-point victory over Bucknell, 56-12 here at the Lake. For producer Joel Kate, statistician Tom Benervos, spotter Eric Hauser, Tioka Jackson, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Dave Leno saying so long from Philadelphia. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend, everyone.